Who's the guy that I sent?
I don't know how to get rid of that comment.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Cancel This. January 12th, 7:10 is our time. I'm Vic Faust, alongside Tabitha Hassel. Eric Johnson on his way in this morning. Scotty Gherkin in studio. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Cancel This, cancelthisshow.com. Welcome in, everybody. We are going to do another wonderful show again today. Looking forward to having Mark Schmitz on. Done several stories with Mark. His son, Lieutenant Colonel Jared Schmitz, killed/murdered the Afghanistan airport a few years ago during the chaotic exit from that country when we left it all behind. Thank God to the Biden administration. Yes, their hands were all over that. Anyway, we're going to talk with Mark Schmitz. He has since tried to move on with his life and has a pub crawl coming up. They did one last year, super successful. He's going to join us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour today to get us caught up on what's going on with that. Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. So we got Jared coming in, or we got Mark coming in to talk about Jared today. Also, can't make it up. The Biden administration hiding where those documents are being found. The hypocrisy is overwhelming when it comes to what's going on from a national perspective. Although some people, Tabitha, are now starting to call out the Biden administration when it comes to national media. CBS reporter actually had a little bit of a confrontation with the White House press secretary yesterday.
That means somebody's probably given the order. They
It's
said, all right,
time.
it's time.
It's time.
Let's get rid of this guy and get Cammie in.
Who's Cammie? I'm kidding. Kamala. So good morning, everybody. We'll talk about that. Is it the end times?
I feel like it is.
Most Americans feel it is.
Especially today.
Even non-Christians, even atheists are agreeing.
Because of the rain? Is that what he feels?
No, I've had a rough morning this morning. Didn't start out. My day hasn't started out well.
You know, I didn't get any sleep last night either. It happens. Normally I sleep well. It happens.
I didn't sleep at all.
I'm just spaced out today.
Scotty, we need you to carry the show today, please.
Yes. Can I leave? And you keep on.
And Eric isn't here. So there we go. Hey, by the way.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
So you say it, there's a chance. Anyway, we appreciate you joining us. As always, share the show, cancelthisshow.com. If you can help donate, we'd love that as too. Go to cancelthisshow.com. You click in the upper right-hand corner of that screen. There's a donate button. We appreciate that as well. Also, special thanks to everybody who jumped in on the show yesterday and the comments that continued all day and all night on all of our platforms, pretty much all over the place, as we continue to do what we're doing here, telling the truth, telling the full story, news headlines, politics, society, and cancel culture education. If there's stories, let us know. Let us know what they are. We'll get into them here. You know what we do. We've also got a situation where if you go and like and share all of the platforms, that helps this show grow as well. Super growth in a matter of 5.5 weeks, which certainly makes us proud. We're putting together advertisers right now. Donations help as well. And of course, if you guys have ideas on partnering with us, let us know. Let us know what we can do from that standpoint. Something that was also interesting is what's going on in Ukraine. And I'd love to start with this today, Tabitha, because next week we are scheduled to have a Ukrainian parliament member in studio who's going to tell us he's battled Zelensky and he's going to give us the full story of what's actually happening in Ukraine. And it's not the same thing that you're seeing in the national media.
No, it'll be
And we're not
eye-opening.
trying to stir up any trouble. We're not trying to stir up crap. We're just trying to bring you the full story. That's what we always do. Believe it or not, he alleges that this Zelensky is not this war hero. He's not this national media darling that he appears to be. We're told he's a guy that President Trump scolded in a press conference and begged to please work his differences out with Vladimir Putin before anything happened, about a year and a half to 2 years before the invasion started. And there's video.
I watched it.
Oh, you have? You saw the
Mhm.
video?
I've seen the video.
I was just told by the parliamentary member that this was going on, that he's going to get us caught up on everything Zelensky, everything in the United States. And now word comes out, oh, all of the production that we have given them, we're running low.
Well, obviously,
We
have
being the
been.
United States.
Yeah, we have been for a long time. And what I love about this is I've been talking about Zelensky for a long time. And this will finally be validation for me that everything I've told people is true. Because what people think about Zelensky, most of our listeners already understand the truth, but so many people out there don't. The Ukraine is such a corrupt country. That government was put into place to launder money for the US, for other Western countries, for NATO. It's absolutely ridiculous. Biolabs, everything there is hidden. And that will tie us back, of course, to those Biden documents, most likely. But Zelensky, he has never given a press conference ever, to where in person, to where reporters can ask questions.
I didn't know that.
All of his press conferences are all by
The Biden
video,
script.
all by video.
That's worse than the Biden script.
No questions allowed. If anyone in media there stands up against him, they end up in prison. He won that election because anyone that rose up against him or tried to compete against him as a candidate was either killed or put in prison.
Are you serious?
100% serious.
How long does this go back?
A long time. It goes back a long time. Definitely back to the 90s. I mean, not necessarily with him. He was a comedian dancing around his little high heels and
Oh my
tutu
God, I did
skirts.
see the video.
And it's just such a sham. And I think that these Biden documents, if we ever find out what they really say, I really think it'll go back to some of this. I think back in the day in the 90s, a lot of people knew that if you had money and you went to Ukraine and invested your money and became a quote unquote Ukrainian businessman, that you were going to make a lot of money. A lot of wealth came out of the 90s out of Ukraine.
That is so bizarre.
It's been going on a long time.
Well, and then now when we hear, and this was shocking when I saw this, not shocking to you, but shocking to me, because I'm like, wait a second, this has implications for us in the United States. But now we have a Navy Secretary, U.S. Navy Secretary, saying the U.S. can't maintain support for Ukraine if weapons makers don't ramp up production.
This is not new. This same similar statement was made 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something along those lines. Not too long
We're
after
over $1 trillion
the
worth
war
of aid,
started.
right? Military equipment.
Absolutely
and money.
so. Absolutely. And we're sending tanks over there right now. We have troops over there in the area training Ukrainian soldiers how to use our weapons and our tanks and so on, things they don't normally use. And we have stressed ourselves to the point where we are weak. We don't have defenses ourselves because we've given everything to Ukraine. And we can't just remanufacture these things because guess where the rare earth minerals come from that are needed to make these weapons? They come from China. We don't have anything in the United States where we have our own rare earth minerals. We have to buy these things from China. Think about that. If China says, hey, we're not giving you the materials you need to replenish your military, we're in a lot of trouble, right? And that's the predicament we've put ourselves in.
Well, with that being said, where are we 6 months from now, Tabitha? Seriously,
in 6 months from now, if this continues on, we are going to be in a direct war. We're in a proxy war right now. If this
there's no doubt
continues
there's a
on,
proxy war.
we're going to be in a direct war with China and Russia. This cannot continue to go on. Things keep escalating. And it's going to get to the point where we don't have any more money or weapons to send them. And how can you not think, or not you specifically, but how can we not think that this isn't by design? How would we make our military this weak?
It makes me think it is by design.
It has to be. I don't know what the end goal is.
Well, we talked with Charlie Strange yesterday, and he said this is what he is talking with military leaders. the weakest our military has ever been.
Absolutely so.
And with that being said, if this is the weakest our military has been, all the way down to woke policies and defunding the military, and then putting more emphasis in regards to what's happening in Ukraine, where does it leave us? Where does it leave us?
We're a very weak,
Well, we know that
vulnerable country.
Well, we know that there are powers that be that try to strip us of any patriotism that we have. Lack of supplies and lack of people serving with all the military stuff going on from Trisha, 100%.
Yep.
No doubt. Unfortunately, how does the United States exit from Ukraine?
We're not going to.
You and I have said this from
We're not going
Russia's
to.
not leaving. They're not
leaving.
They're not pulling back.
They're
If anything,
no.
they'll continue on.
Well, they already are. They're gearing up 500,000 more troops. I'd say 1 million, and they're sending them back in. They just sent a lot of these guys home to kind of refresh. They're sending a new batch out. They're not on short supply. They have China behind them. They have Iran behind them. They have all these countries lining up to join them because you know what? A lot of the countries out, non-NATO countries, want us to lose. And so these countries are going to get behind China. They're going to get behind Iran. They're going to get behind Russia. And this is never going to end. As long as we continue supporting them, which we will, we're going to end up in a war. I almost would bet 90% chance that we're going to be in a direct war. We're going to see another draft. We're going to have troops.
That sounds like
I know it does. I know it does. But Vic, where else can this go? We're not going to give up. Putin's not going to give up. Zelensky's not giving up. How does this end?
That's why I asked the question.
I don't see any end to it because Putin is never going to give up, just like you said. We're backing him further into
if a new president was in the White House that was a Republican,
that would be the only way.
Does it end?
That would be the only way. And I don't know if that's going to happen because I think they're going to make it very difficult for that to happen. Things are really ramping up, much more than what people even realize.
Why do you really?
Well, look at all the PSAs out there about nuclear war.
I mean,
Russia has that new Poseidon. It's a nuclear submarine.
Yeah, but there's not going to be a nuclear war.
I don't. You know what?
There's no way.
I don't think that would
the
be
entire world
no.
Would
but
be blown up, Tabitha.
You're thinking about it in a different way. I'm not talking about a nuclear war like we used to see in that movie The Day After. I'm not talking about that because this war would be fought differently if it comes to a nuclear attack. It would be a tactical nuclear weapon, which means a small scale nuclear weapon. It wouldn't be good, but there's other things they have now really that are worse than nuclear weapons.
Well, Lizzie says we're already in a war.
Well, we're definitely in a war already. There's no question about it, but it's a proxy war at this point. But it's quickly going to change, in my opinion.
Well, we'll see where the Ukraine situation heads, what we're doing. I can't wait to have this guest in. That'll be sometime next week. I believe that next week, would that be? No, it may be the following Monday. I'm sorry, the 21st.
I can't wait.
The 21st, we'll be talking with the Ukrainian parliamentary official in regards to what is actually going on over there and why Zelensky is not the guy that he was portrayed to be. And when I was told, I'm going to look up the video of Trump and Zelensky literally just sitting there like,
oh, the look on his face.
I don't, I was just sent a picture. I have not seen the video yet.
The look on his face, Trump just obliterated him. And Zelensky doesn't speak English. And so there was it was all translated, but Trump really laid it out to him. And it was so funny because the way that the look on Zelensky's face, he's so used to getting everything he wants because he is a snake oil salesman, isn't he?
That it seems like he's been portrayed as that now.
And he's doing a fine job of it because he comes over here and says, oh,
he's the Time Person of the Year.
Forbes magazine.
Now, he didn't ask for his country, Tabitha, to get run over, invaded, right? Can we agree on that?
No, I'm not going to say he asked for his country to be invaded. No, but yet, yes, he did because he is the president of Ukraine. And what a lot of people don't even know, there's been a war going on between Russia and Ukraine for the most part for the last 8 years because Ukrainian troops have been blasting that eastern region, which is what now Russia is trying to take back, that eastern region of Luhansk, Donetsk,
you've talked about
it. They have been killing people in that region for 8 years. And that's why Putin did this, to protect these Russian folks there on the border who are being slaughtered for the past 8 years. So yes, this has been ongoing. There is no way Zelensky didn't know this was going to happen.
And he is definitely tied to Joe Biden.
No question about it.
Ukraine is definitely tied to Hunter Biden.
No question about it.
And Kevin McCarthy was all over the Ukrainian flag. I've given you that, Tabitha. And you know what, though? At first, everybody who had Ukrainian flags.
I didn't.
A lot of, you know what I mean?
And it's not
in
about
Congress,
the people.
it was the right thing to do. It makes you feel good.
Virtue signaling.
Virtue signaling. We're starting to see, what was happening in the country. Now we're starting to hear more stories. It's a horrible situation. I feel as if, Tabitha, there is no right and wrong in that whole situation. There's no good guy.
There's no good guy in this war. There's no question about it. I'm not saying Putin's a good guy. I will say Putin is fighting against globalism. He's fighting against the system.
No, he's 100% fighting against the system, but he's making the system work for him right now.
We are making the system work for him.
Oh,
man, we are empowering Russia, and why doesn't anyone in Congress stand up and talk about it? When they had Zelensky, think about that. A couple weeks ago, he sat there in Congress and lifted up his Ukrainian flag. They presented him with an American flag. The guy is not a hero. He's not a hero.
No accountability for the monies that we have provided. The money continues to flood into Ukraine. And now the Navy U.S. Secretary is deeply concerned that the United States, and I didn't know if this was done on purpose or not, Tabitha, for a Navy Secretary to come out publicly and say, we're not going to be able to keep up with the Ukrainian need unless local United States manufacturers for weapons pick it up.
Yeah, because otherwise we have to count on China. And, I can't remember what state it is, but they are working right now on a rare earth mineral site here in the United States, which could potentially supply this, but we're nowhere near having that ready yet. I mean, that's just in a planning stage. So right now, all of our weapons are made out of rare earth minerals. We don't have them here in the United States. I don't know what we could manufacture here in the United States without buying these products from China.
Comment from the line. They should introduce, I'm assuming politicians, Congress, a bill that no government official be allowed to fly a flag at any government building or office of another country. Interesting. And by the way, we say good morning to everybody who's joining us from different parts of the country. And Matthew Hicks sums it up. There is no good guy, which is why I never had a Ukraine flag. My heart bleeds for the innocent Ukrainians.
Absolutely.
But there are also plenty of Russians who didn't ask for it either.
Absolutely.
Two bad actors, and all this happened because Putin pounced on a weak Biden presidency. Trump had Putin in place. And he did.
Very true.
So
very true.
Once again, people can rip the man, but they can't rip the policies, and they can't deny the fact that just a few years ago, America was in a 10 times better spot than where we are now. We always ask liberals and Democrats and anybody else that disagrees to please call us, jump on the text line. Let us know. Video link in. We'll give you the video link and let us know what good has happened in the last 2 years with this president, with this administration, because to this date and time, Joe Biden has been the worst president in the history of the United States. And that's not going off the deep end and saying that. Prove to me he's not, because right now this country has been on a slippery slope slide since he took office, from day one with the executive orders to the weak presidency to calling Kamala the president at least 6 or 7 times as recent as last week. And now ripping former President Trump, calling for investigations when, quote, classified documents were found with the president, which we found that when you're the president, guess what? You have the authority to declassify documents. Did you know that? If you listen to national media, you wouldn't. All you will hear national media and CNN say is, oh, Trump had 160 documents. Guess what? They were declassified.
Exactly.
They were declassified documents. The vice president does not have authority to declassify documents.
That's right.
And guess what? We now have a second batch of declassified documents, which we can talk about in a second. Another problem with the presidency, another weak figure, another weak administration. Whether it was done on purpose or not, it's weak. We can debate that till the cows come home. But at the end of the day, Putin took advantage of that, which leads into Ukraine, which leads into where we are now with the whole situation surrounding, leaked documents. And now we find out, did you know that these documents, the first batch, Tabitha, they were found in November?
I do. Yes. Before midterms.
Before
Before
midterms.
midterms.
When did we hear about this first batch of classified
a couple
documents?
days ago? This week.
Just this week.
Yes.
Isn't it interesting? There's this, and it makes me wonder. We'll give Scott some time to call it up. There was an exchange yesterday. I teased this when we first started the show today. By the way, this is canceltheshow.com. Share the show on all the platforms. Please share the show. Like it. Get involved. If you can, donate what you want on the front page of our website there. This is the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday, in a little bit of a tense exchange with a CBS reporter, not Ducey from Fox, CBS, wanting to know why we're just now finding out about these classified documents. And we'll go ahead and play that.
On the documents case, again, you've laid out that the president's lawyers and the special counsel are dealing with the legal side of this. You've now laid out that you have not had a conversation with the president about this. But this was
Here, let me
reported
scoot.
Monday. It happened
241
in
is what you're at, Vic?
No,
You've had
we're
any
playing it until
conversation
then.
in the West
Oh,
Wing
I
gotcha.
sent that to you on the
again,
email.
You've laid out
Can
that
we
the
start it?
president's lawyers
Yeah.
and the special counsel are dealing with the legal side of this. You've now laid out that you have not had a conversation with the president about this. But this was reported Monday. It happened in November. Are you aware of any conversation in the West Wing among others, people other than the president, about disclosing this once it was discovered?
What I can say is I was asked by your colleague if we talked about the documents themselves. The president said he does not know what was in them, right? But also just wanted to clear that up. I understand you guys are going to have a lot of questions on this. I get that. I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions on process and specifics. And what I can tell you is that I'm not going to go beyond what the president laid out. I'm not going to go beyond what my White House counsel colleagues have stated. I would refer you to them for any other specifics or additional information. I want to be prudent here. I want to make sure that we do this in the appropriate way.
We're going to ask them because that's our job.
I understand, and my job is to answer your
So
questions.
here
So here we go.
One of the
Let's
reasons
go.
we asked this is because on like day 2 of this administration, when he swore all of you in, the president said, quote, "I'm going to make mistakes. When I make them, I'll acknowledge them, and I'll tell you, and I'll need your help to help me correct them." So you're the one here talking to us about this. That's why we're asking you. So let's just remember that. When he was asked yesterday-
Ed, we don't need to have this. We work very well together.
We do.
We don't need to have this kind of confrontation. Ask your question, and I will answer them the best that I can.
Part of the reason we're laying that out is because you're laying out your part of the job.
I
We're laying out our
know,
part of the job.
I know,
which
but
is
I'm
to
just
ask the
saying that we don't
question.
need to
know there
have
are people who
contention.
will be
You don't need to be
watching
contentious
when-
with me here, Ed.
The president was asked yesterday, but did not answer this part of the question. Why didn't he or someone in the White House inform the American people when these documents were discovered on November 2nd? They didn't have anything to do, because people are asking this part of it. They didn't have anything to do with the fact that the election was just a few days away.
Again, Ed, this is under review by the Department of Justice. It is literally under review right now. As I am talking to you, it is under review.
I feel bad
so I'm
for
not
her.
going to
I know.
beyond the process. I'm not
She
going to go
is-
beyond what the president
and
said.
that's
Look,
yeah,
the
we're
White
good.
House counsel, my colleagues in the White House counsel,
She
laid
is-
out a very detailed information
She's an idiot
about
and a liar,
what this
and she's
particular
lying
issue
to the
on
American
Monday. You
people.
all have that.
They found
I'm just not going to get
documents
beyond
that were
that. The Department of Justice is independent, as you
Yeah,
know.
we can-
They're
it's
we can-
against the law.
We can bring it down.
It was. I didn't see
That is the
second
worst
part.
White House press secretary of all time with the worst
No,
administration of all time.
she could. You could argue the other way, Vic, that she's a complete shill and she's doing her job. Hi, Vic. How you doing, buddy?
She might be. I mean, Scott was lost, so I was like, "I'm sorry, man. We're cutting at 2:41."
It wasn't 241, so I was like, "Are we
where
done?"
were we?
Like
Where-
2:30.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Eric started talking, so I was like,
I
"Yeah,
know,
we'll
that's why I was like,
just cut it."
I was
cut
just
it.
gonna pause it, let him make a statement, then read it.
I mean, is there more?
Is
Because
that-
the only thing I
well,
saw was the,
it's more of the same. It's
was the
it's-
Ducey stuff. I have a theory. I think this is the beginning of the end for Joe Biden because
That's what Tabitha was
I'm
wondering.
telling you right now, CBS was the one that broke this story. It was not Fox News that broke this story. And they did let the midterms kind of ride it out after November. And now CBS is breaking the story. There's a second batch of you could cover this up if you wanted to.
We're getting to this. Yeah, we're getting
if you're
to that
covering
second
up other
batch
stuff,
now.
if you're covering up Hunter Biden laptop stories, you could cover up classified docs from the National Archives. You could do that, but they're not. I think this is the beginning of the end. This is the beginning of the media saying, hey, guys, who do you want to run for president in 2024? Do you want us to take this guy out? Yes, we do. Thank you.
Not the media. Let's backtrack a
No,
little
no,
bit.
no. CBS,
Not the media. I realize that, but they did that
you
probably
just watched
on
a clip,
cue.
which I didn't even see.
That doesn't mean CBS did it with their own brain. It's very likely that the powers that be said, okay, cue Cammy, let's get the old guy out. Because
think it is.
after he when he just went to the border, you could not watch the videos of him. I mean,
That was a joke.
Remember when and I don't know if you guys have all seen it, and I don't know if we're planning on talking about it, but at one point, he was at the border. He was looking very frail. He met with, what was it, a Salvation Army guy?
Oh my God, we're gonna get into this.
We have to talk about this at some point.
Go ahead now. Let's just do it. We're jumping in.
Yeah, he met with a Salvation Army guy, and he thought didn't he think it was like a general or something?
No,
he
Who
thought
did
it
he
was a Secret Service.
Secret
Thought it was
Service,
a
that's right.
Secret Service detail.
It was an right. I mean, how
Democrats, where
ridiculous.
are you? Please stick up for this man, please. Somebody, tell me that you like what is going on. Somebody.
Eric, I half agree with you because I think
there's
you're right.
no happing agree with anything.
Well,
I'm just observing.
The media is outing him, but I think at the government's request, they said,
what is the one thing that Biden had a shot in hell with against Trump? He can't win on anything ideological. He can't. It's impossible.
Kamala's not going to
So
win.
what
She
happens?
does not have.
What happens is this clown this is how he goes into the next election. You can't vote for a guy that blatantly disregards the law and takes these documents to Mar-a-Lago. You guys can't just do it. Well, now they just even the playing field. They just even the playing field. They literally, it's a 5/5 denominator to numerator right now. It's been canceled out. So now both of these guys are on a level playing field. Trump could literally walk his way across a victory.
It's not for
There's
Trump.
a bigger plan in action.
Maybe there is. Maybe there is.
Michelle Obama.
You're right. I
It
digress.
won't be,
I
Biden will
digress.
not run again. He will not. So the question
Biden
is,
will not be running, despite him saying, yeah, I'm going to run. Come on, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
this
run
you
again."
guys were trying to talk Ukraine before in the beginning of the show. I'm like, you guys don't know geopolitical politics to really make. I don't. Nobody
you're
in this room
saying,
does.
actually, you're wrong
Nobody
about
in
that.
this room does.
You're
think-
wrong about
I
that.
think
That
we're
is
ahead of
such
the
a
game.
hard topic to talk about.
Okay, so you're trying to tell me that I've
But
studied
this one-
Ukraine for
I'm
10
not,
years,
I'm not trying to rip
but I
on
don't
you.
know how to talk
I'm not
about
trying
it.
to rip on you.
Well, you
That's
just
not
did.
What, I'm not trying to. Maybe
I
did,
know you're not trying to, but you did.
But this topic is easy to talk about because
They're all easy to talk about.
because this one, we talked about it before. No one that's a liberal Democrat wants Biden to run again. No one that is a mid-range Democrat wants Biden to run again. Nobody. So now you're starting to see the beginning of the end of
He's
this
done.
old clown.
No, he's done.
This old clown is gone.
They could have covered, they being the group that surrounds him, the group that changes his diapers, the group that gives him ice cream, the group that props him up, the group that brushes his hair,
Yes.
the group that puts the makeup on him, the group that ties his shoes for him, and the group that props him up. This is the beginning of the end because
It is.
this could have been hidden very easily. Not only the first time, but now the second batch,
Yes.
which is linking White House officials to his think tank, which is located
Yes.
at the University of Pennsylvania.
and this is impeachable.
ding, 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 ding.
Remember, this is not 2 months these were hidden. This is 6 years.
It's impeachable.
6
It's an
years.
impeachable offense because he is a sitting president, which means he has classified documents in a private location that were not declassified. He didn't have the ability, like you said, Vic, to declassify them. And we already know that these documents, at least the first batch, go back to Ukraine. And that was right at the time when that whole deal went down with Burisma. We know he has documents in regards to Afghanistan, documents about Iran. And remember, that's back when they made the Iran deal.
Correct.
And remember when Obama took that big batch of cash, which he flew personally himself over to Iran. Come on.
I'm telling you, this is fascinating.
John says, "Wow, I wish Vic could have said that diaper thing on Fox 2." As people saw when I used to, they would see my brain thinking, and I wish I could say this. Blah 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 blah.
Take this, interns. Watch this.
But the other thing about that is, not only does the second batch come out, found at the think tank, now documents are being released, and it's linked to Hunter Biden.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And then the House, and this comes out as the House is saying, we're going to investigate Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
We're not letting this go away. So it's where there's smoke, there's fire. Too much is going on right now for the list of the opportunities to bury. I mean, no pun intended. I mean, Joe Biden. Bury him politically.
I'm on Biden. I'm on
Biden
watch every day now. I was at a party last night, and
but we have to remember which Biden too. That's the other thing.
There are so
all
many
of them.
Is this Biden
the brother?
Or is this Biden
the
five?
son?
Oh, I'm talking about Biden 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's
5.
so many.
The brother, the
You
son,
know, there's
and the
different
Holy
models
Ghost.
of
No,
Biden,
we're talking
right?
about his body doubles.
I'm done with that one.
There
I
are
can't-
many of them.
My brain can only go so far at
Eric,
7 in
look
the
at
morning.
the pictures, man.
There are many of them.
My brain can only go to 11. I can't go to 20.
And there's a new one that
But,
just popped out. But I think the
Oh,
one, I think
another one.
Eric,
yeah,
I know it
it's
sounds
true.
crazy.
There's ice cream eating
we
Joe.
sound nuts for saying that, but
we're
Okay.
not nuts for saying it because anyone can look at the photos and see how different he looks
Okay.
from his eyes to his hair
eyes,
to
nose,
so many
ear.
other
I even saw the
things.
earlobe
Okay.
picture.
I want
It's
I
all
want
different.
tomorrow morning.
Release the Kraken.
Tomorrow morning would be great. It's a Conspiracy Friday. Tabitha Hassel is going to lay out her entire thesis on the multiple faces of Joe Biden. There's the Illuminati
It's
Biden.
not that difficult.
There's
yeah, it's not difficult, Eric.
really
No, there's
No.
pictures everywhere.
Because when he
Vic, you cannot be subscribing to this.
I
how
am.
can you, Eric,
No, you're
not
not.
believe it?
Are you serious?
I'm 100.
So you're looking at me in the eye right now, and you're saying there's multiple Bidens.
dude. You look as
Look
bad
at
right
the
now
photos.
as I do.
I feel as bad as
We're
I
all
do.
dragging today.
Look, Look at the photos.
It's
Eric.
so funny. There was several clips yesterday, and we were sitting there watching the news in the kitchen. We were making dinner, and I looked up and I said, "That looks like two different people."
Come on,
It is.
You
It-
too?
Oh my God,
Eric,
man!
I promise
this
you.
was just out of nowhere. It had nothing to do with. I didn't know this was a conversation today. I looked at my wife. I said, "That doesn't even look like the same dude."
It's Scotty, it's not because you know what? They've released the real Joe Biden. And I think they've done it with intent to get rid of him.
I do
Because
too.
the
With
guy
the real Joe Biden, please stand up.
I
Please
know.
stand up.
The guy that was on the southern border, that was the real Joe Biden.
Okay.
That was the real guy. He could barely walk. He was taking those little shuffling steps like elderly people
It's
do.
funny. We got to just laugh.
And
at it
he
from this
thought
point forward. We have to.
He thought the Salvation Army guy was Secret Service.
He literally went up to talk to him about being his Secret Service guy, and we're going. This poor Salvation Army guy is just in it. No English,
why-
no English.
If they got multiple,
I mean,
if they have
oh my
multiple
God.
Bidens, why
The
can't
guy-
they have Smart Biden? Why can't they?
Yeah,
hire
there is
sma-
a smart Biden.
Where's Smart Biden at? I haven't seen one. Not one of
He's
them.
the
is
one
Smart
that-
Biden. Then.
He's the one that successfully keeps his mouth shut and walks off the stage like he's supposed to. The real Biden can't seem to do that.
No, you'll know because the real Biden has Jill by his side because she
That's right.
seriously, I know
Babysits
it's funny,
him.
but she walks him like in.
So
and
that's
out
the
and-
real Biden. And then there's a Smart Biden. Which one's the Smart
And there's
Biden?
the fit Biden, the one
The
that rides
fit
the
Biden?
bicycle. The one that rides the bicycle.
The one that falls off the bicycle?
No, not that one. If you look at all his bicycle pictures, there's one guy that rides
is
the
crazy.
bicycle, and he looks like
This
he's
is
40
this is
years
the nuttiest
old.
thing I've ever heard.
He has like muscles and you know,
Muscles.
nice skin tone, not like a Joe Biden who's however years old. Completely different people.
Okay.
But we know that Kamala Harris, Cammie, definitely uses a body double because she got
What?
caught by the news using
No,
a body
she got
double.
caught.
She
She
got
did,
caught.
Eric. She did. I promise.
It was
you.
on the news.
She
She got
did it.
caught.
and she did it once.
End of days.
She did you, but she
And
wasn't
we've
doing
never
it.
seen her since.
I didn't think she was trying to do it to.
It wasn't malicious.
It wasn't malicious.
No.
It was because she couldn't be at two places at the
Exactly.
same time. But as Tabitha says, it shows you don't think for a second that the handlers wouldn't use body doubles in a second to cover everything that they need to, especially with the oldest president ever, especially with a guy who is hamstrung by his inability to process things that normal people process because of the condition that he's dealing with. And then he's also got the most responsibilities of any job in the world on top of it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Dear God, help us.
I know.
Eric,
Yes.
There is a body double. Kamala got caught doing
Now,
it.
okay, explain that one to
And-
me. Did she get?
She went to a
A press
campaign event.
conference.
Yeah, and she went and she had a mask. This was back when everybody was masking. She had a mask on. She arrived by limo, and all of these people were trying to talk to her,
Okay.
but it didn't look quite enough like her. Her
Okay.
eyes were different colors, just slightly different, and people were like, "You're not."
It's like when you go
Kamala
on Match.
Harris.
It's when you go on
Right.
Match, Eric. Here's a picture, and then you show up.
You arrive at the venue.
That's not what I saw in the
Man,
picture.
you're 40 pounds heavier than your picture.
It was similar. It was not a good body double. And so people immediately recognized that she had Secret Service with her
This is crazy. Tom.
and she was in her limo and so on. And they hurried up and rushed her out of there.
If
It's all
Tabitha's,
on video.
if Tabitha's laughing and smiling, you know it's funny.
Yeah.
It's all on
And
video.
she hasn't anything to drink yet today.
Okay. That's
Alcohol,
unbelievable.
that is. No shots.
Only coffee.
So that's the problem that you have. It's all connected, Eric, where it goes from.
And
Okay.
we live in
Sure.
an age of green screens, deep fakes,
Yeah.
and you
We
can't
do.
believe anything you see anymore. Like
Yeah.
that video where the microphone's coming in and out of Biden's hand. People try to excuse that away.
Did you see that too, Eric?
No.
Do you
Oh,
ever
man.
watch the
Okay,
news?
no, look, I try to get out of the silly season stuff.
No,
And
you're
I-
right.
I-
And
I
there's a lot.
do.
There
I
is
just-
stuff.
I
because
know.
I literally have to throw my phone against the wall sometimes because
Mm.
TikTok freaks me out so much. I get these stories all the time about TikTok with the creepy music in the back, and then I have to shake it off and go, get back to reality.
Get
This
back-
is not this is not accurate. There is no way a UFO just landed in the front lawn of the White House. That
would
is not
probably-
happening.
Well, I would not be surprised.
There is a lot of wacky
I
stuff
know.
out there.
I
And
can't
it's
wait
hard-
for tomorrow.
You know what the latest
hard to
craze
weed
is,
it out.
Eric, don't you?
What?
That Fetterman is of a certain
He's a reptilian.
extraterrest- Well,
what?
not
He's a
rep-
lizard man.
Yeah.
Is that what people are saying? I
He's a
haven't heard
shaved
that.
Sasquatch.
Now that's more believable.
I told you Bigfoot was real.
I mean, it's
He
Oh
just
my
won in
God.
Philadelphia.
No, but Eric,
They're evolving.
Eric, literally, there was a press conference that was given to us allegedly with Joe Biden, and you see the reporter's hand go forward and come back, and as you do, it disappears,
what?
and as it goes back and forth,
Hmm.
So-
or the hand
okay.
where a green screen
Yeah,
or some
yep.
technology was used
Yeah.
to impose
Okay.
Joe Biden 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my God.
Eric, think about this. It's gotten so bad that the media finally had to admit that when they go to an event like where Biden is speaking, it's not at the White House.
Well, it's across
at
the
a-
street.
It's allegedly across the street.
And we don't even know if it's there.
We don't even know if it's there. Some people say that's not really where it is, but it's not in the White House. Okay. Think about that.
That-
Why is Joe Biden
That's true.
not in the White House speaking? Why is he at a fake soundstage? We have to think about all of these things. And when you start thinking about that, how many shams have they played on us over the years? We know that Biden spent 101 days in 2021 at his house in Delaware. So what is really going on here? I think they have to exit him out. I think he's getting so bad
talking
and
about
so
Biden?
frail.
Yes.
Biden, they
And
have
I'm
no
telling
choice.
you right now that these documents being leaked, this might be the beginning of the end.
It is.
If
I think it is.
If you start to see CBS start to do more stories on the Hunter Biden laptop and have like the goods in there, like the dirt and all the crap, like an expose on 60 Minutes about the Hunter Biden laptop. This is what we found out. Look at these sexy pictures that we found on his laptop. Oh, and by the way, there's this Ukraine. If you start to see that, this is because the media has done with old Joe. And if old Joe,
not the media.
The
Not
media.
No, the
the
powers.
media, well, yeah, the
I'm sorry.
deep state
the
media,
deep-
whatever you
no,
want to
the,
call
well,
it.
the powers that be, when you're watching CBS, MSNBC, maybe even Fox National to some degree during the day, you're gonna see government propaganda. And when the government decides they're done with Joe Biden, you're
Yeah.
gonna see all these stories leak. And I
Yeah.
think that's what we're seeing. They sent his true self to the southern border.
The media made him. The media can take
And
him out.
Seriously, watch the video of him. He's shuffling around.
He is.
Like
Everybody
the age he is, and he left Jill behind. Then all of a sudden, you see him wake up like, "Oh my God, where's Jill?" Way back
Huh?
behind him.
What? That's his walking cane.
That's
I
his
mean, it is.
sister.
Yeah.
That's his sister.
What? Where? Oh, there's the Salvation. Oh, is
Oh
that
my
the
God.
Secret
I,
Service?
geez,
The media
where
does
am I at?
what the government tells them to do.
You know,
They're
if-
not doing it on their own accord.
if it wasn't for the fact that this guy used Joe Biden Inc. to make so much money. I would legitimately feel sorry for him. But the guy literally is stacked in cash because he let his son go roam the world.
That's what it's all about, Eric.
Making money for him. And even if you don't believe in what I'm just talking about here, just what's on the surface of him going to these countries and soliciting money for his foundations or whatever it is that they're doing. Joe Biden made 10% of whatever came in. He made a nice Delaware house for himself.
Of course
he made a nice living for himself. They made $30 million at the Penn Institute of Biden, whatever it is, up in Pennsylvania or I'm sorry, Washington, D.C. He made some cash. I don't feel sorry for the guy anymore. I hope everything comes out and destroys this cat. This is the president of the United States who he let his son run the world with him on Air Force Two.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Eric.
No, I'm not.
I believe this could be the end.
I'm not getting ahead of myself.
But there is no way the handlers are going to allow this to go down as a, quote, disgraceful presidency, because that will allow.
Vic.
No,
you think AOC's not in some meetings going, I can't vote for this guy again?
No, because remember, the Democrats all get on the same page when it's time to get on the same page.
No,
they do.
No. They've given.
You said that last week.
I know, but these guys have given them their chance.
No,
and AOC, Omar, Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, but my point is this: they'll if there's a plan, the exit plan, he will be gone. But they can't afford. Neither can the Democratic Party afford for this to be considered the
Joe
worst.
Biden go.
Not go on, Eric.
How do you take him out?
Leave in disgrace somehow, some way.
How do you let it? How do you take him out?
Somehow, some way where you feel some sort of compassion or empathy.
Yes.
For there is
then
no
Biden's
way the Democrats
camp needs to be in part of that conversation.
The Democrats will allow him to go down in flames.
Then Joe
because
Biden,
that looks good, horrible on their part.
Then Joe Biden has to have a closed door meeting with the Obamas and the Hillary Clintons of the world and go, Joe, your time is done. Thank you for your service. Now bow out.
Oh yeah, Barack
it's all
and
happening
Hillary
behind
will
the
be
scenes.
soon telling him.
Our meeting's going to go like this. How did you guys get away with it? That's what the meeting's going to be. Biden's going to be asking Obama and Hillary, like, hey, how'd you set all this up?
No,
you're right.
He's going to be saying,
that's true.
Can I have chocolate or strawberry?
Why are you guys?
Serve?
Why are you guys making me keep going with this job? What job is this? I forgot. I'm in a car wash. No, he is. I think that, okay, you have this push now with the media. You now had Scotty this morning play that clip, which wasn't just Steve Ducey challenging the White House.
If you look at that clip, Ducey's also like, oh, he's looking at the CBS reporter like,
these are legitimate questions. Trump had one stash of documents. They were declassified. I've never known a situation where a vice president could declassify anything.
He can't.
Am I losing my mind or something?
We just talked about it.
It would be like the Secretary of State having classified documents on her in her emails. Wait a minute. Back up. Never mind. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, Hillary Clinton had classified documents they found many years later in her closet. And you know what they were? They were about Vince Foster. And they did a test on them.
That's scary.
And her DNA was on those files.
Be careful.
The missing Vince Foster
I want you to
files.
continue to be a part of our show, Tabitha. Be careful.
And you don't hear anyone talk about it. But at one time that happened and it was discussed. But now where do you hear about it anymore?
The documents not only link Hunter Biden, they link White House officials to working at the think tank where all the second batch of documents were found. Think about this. Where there's smoke, there's fire. They were illegal, and they're still illegal. Yeah. The only President Trump, let me repeat this, former President Trump's documents were legal. They had been declassified. No matter what the national media tells you, CNN trying to get some sort of ratings hike. CNN, by the way, is the only news outlet that I'm finding that's trying to stick up for Joe Biden in this. They had like a side-by-side comparison of Trump's documents, his classified, and Biden's classified, and they refused to say that Trump's were legal, declassified, Biden's were classified, illegal. They wouldn't say it. They just said the amount of documents because Trump had so many. Trump had like 150, 60 documents, whereas at this point in time, and who knows where there's more documents hidden. Think about it. Yeah. There was a first batch. There's a second batch now linked to White House officials who were working there.
And the Biden
it goes so much deeper than what's on the surface. And national media is never going to tell you. And local media doesn't have the brain to tell you because they're caught up in city council meetings.
And how many Ronald Reagan classified docs are out in California? There are some. And how many Jimmy Carter classified docs are in Gaines, Georgia? There's some. And how many Plains, Georgia, sorry. And how many classified documents does Obama have in Hawaii? There are some.
In Hawaii.
I'm sorry, there are some. So don't think that this for a second is anything new. It's not. But the fact of the matter is, and the big story to me is, we don't even know what documents they are.
They told us what the documents were.
They did?
Yes.
I did not know that. That's breaking news to me. Thank you very much for telling me that. I appreciate it.
We just had a whole conversation about it.
No,
the missing documents were about Iran. They were about Ukraine, and they were about Afghanistan.
Dottie,
the first batch, not the second batch.
Dottie had a great question, and we're going to take a quick break because
Biden's aides found the documents.
Biden's aides did.
Wait a minute.
So think about
Dun,
this.
dun, dun.
What the hell?
Think about.
I thought it was a little group of lawyers that were.
No. Think about. That's why I'm saying they are time to exit Q Cammy. Let's move
Q
Biden out of the
Cammy?
way.
Q
No,
Cammy
no,
isn't the answer.
no.
Because I'll tell you
Her
what,
popularity's lower than Biden's.
Biden's only because they're doing that.
Gavin
on purpose.
Newsom went to the spa yesterday, and he's getting all cleaned up for his media appearances. Trust me.
Biden's
Oh
own
my God.
aides found the documents and turned them in. What does that tell you?
He done.
Yeah,
He gone.
He's gone. Tabitha.
But how are they gonna? I wonder what kind of contracts they have with Biden 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And on the comment line, they're saying the aides are attorneys. Yes, they are, but they still work for Biden. They're still part of the Biden administration.
Yeah.
I'm
turned
telling
him
you,
in.
how do you square a DeSantis versus Biden run? It would be a bloodbath.
It's not gonna happen.
It would be a 50
Eric.
state trouncing. They are getting someone ready in the wings, and it's going to be Gavin Newsom. Period. Discussion over. Somebody mark the tape.
Trump, DeSantis, one of those two versus Newsom or Michelle Obama.
Michelle don't want the job.
It'll be Newsom.
Michelle does not
Newsom's
want
the
the job.
guy. He's the guy from California. As
It'll
well.
be Newsom.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to take a break. We're going to take one right now. CancelThisShow.com. CancelThisShow.com. Share the show. Go to the website. Check out all of our original content on our live podcast. If you don't join us live, of course, you can go. There's actually more views after we get off air, believe it or not. We love it. The numbers are going sky high. We appreciate it. I promise you. Maybe we'll have Alex on tomorrow. Bring Alex on to talk about what you guys are making happen, not only in Missouri, not only in Michigan, but all across the country and places unknown.
Who the hell on the chat line say JD Pritzker? No, stop.
Well, at one point in time, he was talking about
It doesn't matter. You can't
And
be
of course,
over
Drew
400
Collins,
pounds and run for
A self-described Democrat says that Joe Biden will run again.
Drew Collins. What is your fascination with this guy?
No, he's not saying he wants him to. He's just saying he will.
I don't think he will.
I'd be shocked.
I would be
Hey,
beyond
guys.
shocked.
Guys, we brought you some great interviews yesterday. We're doing it again today. Mark Schmitz, the father of Lance, Corporal Jared Schmitz, talks to us now. He's coming back up later, about 4 minutes when we come back from the end of the break. We'll find out if he's gotten any more answers from the Biden administration when it comes to the death of his son or the other military members who were murdered at the Afghanistan airport during the withdrawal, the debacle that was. Also to promote a pub crawl that's coming up. Maybe they did get PRL, Eric Span on
Oh
the
my
bus with
God.
him.
I'm still hungover from last night.
Oh, dear God.
And Joe Biden doesn't even want Joe Biden to run.
Freedom 13. That's what it's all about. Back with more of Cancel. Hey, go to all the platforms, share the show. Back with more of this great show right after this. Hey guys, welcome back to Cancel This. Happy Thursday, January 12th. Appreciate you jumping in for Cancel This. Go to cancelthisshow.com. You can check out all of our original content. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. I asked Eric to bring me a water. He brings me a nice water.
Aww.
Eric Johnson's here. Tabitha Hassel and Vic Faust. Scotty Gherkin on the boards, the tech, the lights, the music as always. Also the lead singer of Modern Day Zero.
Yeah, that's right.
Eric, the bassist for Platinum Rock Legends.
Go.
We have got everybody. Hey, by the way,
Jam session.
as speaking of musicians,
Wild stallion.
Cowbells.
oh
Don't
my
count.
god,
Don't bring,
Keanu Reeves.
don't bring a triangle to open mic.
And I was just getting ready to say this. Thank you, Drew, from our comment line. Jeff Beck,
Yeah.
R.I.P. Jeff Beck. And what is bacterial meningitis anyway? I mean, seriously, medical people.
Yeah.
COVID?
Are you saying it's part of COVID? Or
You tell me.
I've not heard that. Is it? I
No,
don't know.
but the cause of death apparently was bacterial meningitis.
Yeah,
For
but I
which-
mean,
for
people
who?
people get that.
Okay.
It's
For
not
Jeff?
For Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
terribly
Yeah, for
uncommon.
Jeff.
Jeff was in his
Jeff Beck.
70s. He was very fit
Yeah.
70s.
Yes.
He was I think he was getting ready to go on tour again, which is heartbreaking when you have enough energy to put a band together and go on tour and then you get taken. That one shocked me last night because if it wasn't for Jeff Beck, I don't think I'd be playing music. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't, because when I first heard Blow by Blow, I remember being a little kid and I was like, that's, and then the look of the way that the Les Paul looked on that album, I was like fascinated with the whole package of Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow album. You guys probably don't know. Go check it out. It's an amazing album.
No, it is.
And then from there, it kind of shot me into the world of Peter Frampton, which was more guitar oriented music.
Right.
So I was thinking about it last night. I go, I wasn't at a 8-year-old kid. I wasn't into Zeppelin. I wasn't into what everybody else is into. I really liked that guitar jazz album, which made me go, I'm in. Whatever it takes. I don't care. I'm in. And then it put me into
yeah, but my only question was, how do you die from bacterial meningitis?
It's
and
not
Tara
that
says
uncommon.
perhaps properly Vex depletes your immune system.
Well, and a lot of people believe that.
And that's tearing apart your immune system. I don't know. There's just
in the beginnings of COVID, what meningitis is, it's a infection of the membrane that covers your brain. Your brain is covered by a little sheath, and that gets infected. Sometimes it's viral, sometimes it's bacterial. But you guys may or may not remember this, but at one point, back when we were on the war on COVID and we talked about those little swabs, there was a time when people were getting brain issues from those swabs, including meningitis.
Yeah.
Well, rest in peace, Jeff Beck. That's for sure. I mean, you were talking about music and everything else, and musician and jam session, and maybe think, oh yeah, Jeff Beck passed away.
He's a guy that if you have any favorite guitar players, I don't know if you do. I know Scotty probably does. If you have any favorite guitar players, whoever it is, Dimebag Darrell, Eddie Van Halen, whoever the new guys are, Jeff Beck was a reason that you're listening to those guys today. So it's heartbreaking. It really is.
With that being said, that's Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel, I'm Vic Faust, Scotty Gherkin here. It's Cancel This. Go to canceltheshow.com. Hey, share the show on all the platforms. We appreciate it. Also, if you like what we're doing and want to help out, check out the donate button right there on the homepage. You can also check out all of our original content, all of our podcasts. If you can't catch us live, a lot of people are just finding out about us. We've been around for about 5 weeks. I know there's a lot of people in Michigan just now finding out about us as you start to see the Facebook page go live with what we have going on. Share the show. It's the best way you can continue to help us do what we're doing. We're here for hours in the morning. We'll be talking about 2-3 hour shows. Also, somebody says, you guys got 1 viewer. Come on, Twitch. Yeah, so we appreciate that. We can also associate mugs and other items with those donations as well. Even a tour of the studio, I believe. Tabitha, you're in charge of that. With that being said, we appreciate all the support we've had. With that being said, speaking of support, one guy we want to show our support for is the Schmitz family, Mark Schmitz. I got to know Mark over the past couple of years, covering him, his family, Lance Corporal Jared Schmidt, his son, and arguably one of the most patriotic, emotional, sentimental scenes I've ever seen in the city of St. Louis was Lance Corporal Jared being transferred from Lambert Airport to, I believe it was Bowie Funeral Home. And Mark Schmitz joins us live this morning to promote a pub crawl that's coming up. First of all, Mark, how are you doing, man? I mean, nobody wants to ever go through what you've done with your son or losing your child. We've always said you're not supposed to outlive your child, and you try to deal with that. How's life? What's going on, my friend?
Life's busy. We are working hard on the nonprofit, the Freedom 13, that keeping me busy. I've got 2 other businesses I run too, so obviously I've got a full plate every day. But the support's still out there, and people touch bases with me on a daily basis, and I appreciate that.
It's amazing. They were talking about you the other night on the floor. It's bizarre to think that you represent this whole Afghanistan debacle. Isn't that bizarre? Do you ever wake up just ever thinking we are the face, the 13 fallen soldiers are the face of the withdrawal from Afghanistan? And how's that make you feel?
To be the face of that.
I mean, isn't it overwhelming to think that when you think
Yeah.
of the withdrawal from Afghanistan, which we went in to take out bin Laden and his cronies, and then to think of the brutal way that we came out, that you guys are really the face. You were brought up the other night from Kevin McCarthy on the floor, and you guys will continue to be brought up politically through all of this. I mean, that's got to be overwhelming to you and the other 12 families.
It is. I feel for all of those warriors that were part of this 20-year debacle. I mean, I think it's ironic that Jared was 6 months old when all this started, and he was one of the last 13 that was killed in the very end of it all. And people ask me how I identify, and I tell them right now I identify as a pissed off American patriot. Yeah. And we're not going to stop. I mean, I've been talking with Holly's office. I'm hoping that we can get some more voice in with some of the other senators.
That's U.S. Senator Josh Hawley, of course.
Yeah. He's been a great advocate of ours. I got to personally meet Lauren Boebert, who came in from Colorado for our gala last year. That was great. She was our guest speaker, and she was a phenomenal little firecracker.
Yeah. I like her.
So
I love her. Mark, I will never forget that day. It will always be ingrained in my mind. Your son, definitely a hero. And the failure of the Biden administration, and watching that day, you just had the feeling something is going to happen. You see all of these people packed into this small area in a country that we know is known for terrorism. They're all packed into this little area. For some reason, the Biden administration put the Taliban in charge of checkpoints. Yeah. What did they expect was going to come out of that?
I can't imagine being boots on the ground and hearing that we've been at battle with these guys for 20 years and now they're going to run perimeter security for us. I mean, that spelled disaster right from the get-go. And I'm hoping with these investigations that we can find out a lot of this behind the scenes stuff that we're not privy to at the moment. I know that we are going after some big answers regarding how this was allowed to happen on that particular day, because leading up to it, there's been public testimony from one of the snipers that was in the tower just to Jared's left, and they had a line of sight on this guy, the suspected bomber, and had requested, I believe, on 3 different occasions for a permission to fire and take the guy out. And he was denied every single time. I would love to know who made that call, why the hell they made that call. Someone higher up in the military, not super high, but higher than Jared, had mentioned it was probably because they were looking to avoid collateral damage.
Right. I'm sure.
I'm no ballistics expert, but I know that a through and through might get a guy behind him, maybe even 2, but you're looking at 1 or 2. It's certainly a hell of a lot better than the collateral damage that ended up happening after that bomb went off and killed over 200 people.
And then the other blunder with the Biden administration, they thought they knew who did it. They went out and they targeted this guy, killed this guy in his driveway, his entire family, or seven people, I think. I don't remember if it's 7 or 9. And it turned out the guy was an aid worker loading water into his truck.
I was in Dover, Delaware when that airstrike happened, and General Milley leaned into my ear and whispered, "We got them MFers." And he said the whole words, but he says, "We got them." And, at that moment, I was like, thank God, they got some of the guys that were responsible for this, and only to find out a couple of days later that, yes, you're correct. It was an aid worker and a bunch of his children.
Yeah. Absolutely. Does that I hate to ask this. I can't believe I'm even asking this, but does that represent the incompetence of our U.S. military and maybe even our intelligence, where we go after a guy unloading water and we don't exactly know who it was?
They studied his driving patterns through the city. They were following him, and he was making erratic turns and things, like as if he was trying to avoid surveillance, is what's been reported. But you can't fault the military for what they're trying to do. It's a complex situation over there, but a lot of what happened didn't have to happen the way that it did. And that's what I think is what's so crucial.
Yeah, but you had a 5-star general in your ear saying we got him. and it was
Yeah.
a delivery guy.
And not only that, but he was somebody who delivered water to our troops. It was a crazy situation.
Well, Paul from our comment line has the most profound quote right now. Still nobody being held accountable
No.
Wow. Yeah.
for what happened to Jared.
And they won't anymore.
And then Mark and his family and his friends and his loved ones are left behind in the St. Charles County area, left with all of the thoughts, the memories, the frustration, anger, being pissed off, as he said, left behind, waiting on answers that have not seemed to come. So all you can do, Mark, is what you have been doing. You get by day, and you try to put together events like you have coming up. And of course, that's a way where people can kind of jump back into it somehow, some way. If you could talk about the pub crawl, and as you do, and why this is happening, we also have video that we'll be playing, so that there's video behind that you'll be able to see as well.
Sure. So our mission through the Freedom 13 is to build recreational retreat villages around the country. We want to do one in every state. We've kind of changed our goal there, in that we're looking for larger tracts of land, probably 100 acres plus. These will be used like an Airbnb for veterans. We'll have at least 13 houses on every single village. This is going to come at an expensive cost, probably in the ballpark of $2 to $4 million per village per state. So it's going to require, obviously, a lifetime of fundraising. We did a pub crawl last year. Jared was 20 when he was killed. He turned 21 February 25th. So my wife and I decided about 3 weeks before his birthday, we got to do something. So we thought we'd get a couple of dozen bars and restaurants in the St. Charles County, St. Louis County area. I ended up ironically on Fox News National and let it slip that we were doing this pub crawl. Within 48 hours, we were in 25 different states. 198 bars and restaurants participated. We raised about $128,000 over that weekend. And we decided right then and there, we're going to continue to do this every single year. Let the patriots that are out there go out and celebrate his birthday. And by doing so, and by donating, they are funding the mission for the Freedom 13, which is to help the veterans that are still with us.
So let me ask you, what was the price on that again? I'm just curious. What you said, $2 million, and what was that? What does the $2 million get you?
The $2 million, $2 to $4 million is going to depend on the land and where we're getting it.
Okay.
If I can't get it donated or seriously discounted, we'll have to purchase the dirt. By doing so, we'll then have houses to put on there. These will be not traditional tiny houses, but they're not going to be regular houses either. They'll be somewhere in the middle. They'll be more like the size of a cabin, if you will, and it'll be open to the veterans and their families. So each house is estimated to be about $80,000.
So have you reached out directly to the government? And they're building $2 million bathrooms in San Francisco. Do you think that they might have an appetite for funding this whole project for you?
I haven't yet. The government has not been too kind to work with since all this happened. Starting right
what?
Go figure.
With the Pentagon, but this is a learning curve for me. I've never run a nonprofit before. Certainly nothing of this magnitude in any of the businesses I've had. So I'm kind of learning as I go.
How Tunnels to Towers started, that's for sure. I mean, this could be huge in the next few years.
And my goal is to be as big as they are. I mean, that's why aim short, and I'd love to be able to have the guys and, do good. This is our therapy. This is what gets me through every day. I talk to my son on a daily basis, and I wake up every day with this mission in mind. Yeah. And my wife tells me I need a better balance, but I'm going to keep trudging forward.
Did Jared ever, when you were talking to Jared, what did he feel about the withdrawal from with troops coming out of Afghanistan? Have you ever been asked that question? I've always wondered what the actual guy, the boots on the ground thought of, man, we're pulling out, let's go. Was he happy about it, or was he like, this is crazy?
The only opportunity I had to speak with him after he actually landed, coming in from Jordan, was the fact that they were scared to death. They all thought they were going to die that first day, because the massive amount of people, he said, was just mind-boggling. He told me that if your arms were up in the air, like holding your rifle, they were stuck there. They weren't coming down because people were smashed that close together. Same with if your hands were down at your side, you weren't going to get them up over your head. It was incredibly challenging. They thought they were going to get crushed to death, and right then and there. Well, obviously things got under control within a matter of a day or so. And then he told me at that point that he was going to come off of Abbey Gate and go out onto the airstrip when he came out back on detail and off of post, I should say. And that never happened. So I never really had the opportunity to talk to him about the actual withdrawal portion of it.
Yeah.
He told me that it was just utter chaos. I did, in fact, get to speak to and meet an Afghan woman. It was actually a major surprise. I was at an event that she came in as a guest speaker at the very end, and she didn't know I was in the audience. And she was talking about her experience coming out of Afghanistan. And she said that she got through the canal, and there was a young man that escorted her through Abbey Gate, and she remembers his name tag on his uniform is Schmitz, and that's where Jared was aiding and assisting. And then right after she got through the gate, within 3 minutes, by the time Jared had walked back to the wall, that's when the bomb detonated.
Wow.
So she literally had just gotten out, and she was in tears when she was speaking about it. Jared was her hero.
He is definitely a hero, and he should have never been put in that position. Never should he have been in that Abbey Gate with the other 12 soldiers and the other of our troops that weren't part of the bombing. They should have never had them in a situation where they were so shoved together that they could not see around them and manage the situation. That's a complete failure of the Biden administration.
Yeah,
Mark, that's true.
They didn't have the proper people there to vet these people, to go through. I mean, these guys were trained for this, and they certainly dropped the ball there too.
Right. And that's why I keep coming back to, and I don't want to slam the U.S. military, but it seems like if you're withdrawing, if you know how to put on, work in a theater, you know how to get out of that theater as well. And it just seems to me like they just didn't do it properly. It's just an outsider looking in, very high level view. But, I hope that you guys stick together, because I think there's power in the vision of the 13 fallen soldiers' families from this point forward. I really do. I think that you guys, if you guys stick together, you can get a lot of stuff done for veterans groups, you could be the voice of a lot of this stuff, because I'll tell you what, the U.S. Congress, politics is using you guys. They are. And they're saying, hey, these soldiers didn't have to die this way. And so the McCarthys of the world, the Jim Jordans of the world, they're using you guys as a visual. And I hope you guys stick together so you can maybe get some things done for veterans groups at least.
And with that being said, with what Eric said, Mark, do you feel as if you're being shown, or the families are being shown respect by the individuals, the government individuals that you're working with or have been working with?
The ones that are in our corner, and this is what I cannot wrap my head around. The last time I checked, our military, no matter what conflict they're in, are out there fighting for our freedoms as a country. And nowhere is it written that the military is out there defending Republicans.
Right.
Just Republicans. And I cannot grasp how more Democrats have not looked at this and said, we got to do what's right. Our freedoms are here because of these same people as well. This isn't a political issue at all. This was a massive debacle that we need to learn from, and to learn from it, there's got to be accountability. Without accountability, you have nothing to learn from, because otherwise you're admitting there is no mistake, and there was a lot of mistakes made here. It disgusts me, to be honest. I mean, the fact that they kind of just sugarcoated the initial investigation that was put on. I mean, I had the Pentagon sitting in my freaking dining room, sitting here spewing a bunch of bullshit, pardon my French.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at these guys going, are you kidding me right now? You're not telling us the whole story. The colonel that was there, with all due respect, I know was just the messenger. And I told him that. I said, I'm going to sound things off of you. You're the messenger. Sorry. I know this isn't your gig, but this is what they're telling you to tell us. And, there's a lot more to this that you guys are not letting on. And, it's just funny to me that the security cameras at the gate conveniently aren't working.
They never are they?
Right.
It wasn't an accident. There's no way.
It never is.
There were 5 metal fragments pulled from Jared's body And I told him, I said, I want those metal fragments. I want to pay to have them independently studied. Don't have them. They've been disposed of. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Mark, did you see our interview yesterday with Charlie Strange?
I did not. I'm sorry.
He is a Gold Star father of SEAL Team 6 member Michael Strange. He went through the exact same thing. His son lost his life over Afghanistan. He, had these ominous warnings that something might happen, and he had no answers. And it went so far as the NSA and other government agencies spying on him in his home, in his laptop. It's ridiculous. It's always a cover up. Never are they going to give you a straight story.
There's been a lot of fishy stuff that's been going on to a lot of the family members since this all happened.
Can you talk about it? Like, what would be fishy? Like,
good question, Eric.
All of our phones acting very, very suspiciously. That never happened before.
That's what Mr. Strange said.
Are you getting the text that's like 0000 or phone calls that say 00? Because when the government is watching you and they're messing with your cell phone, it's not all the time, but sometimes you'll get those texts and calls.
And Charlie Strange yesterday said the exact same thing you did. Strange things started happening with their phones.
Yep. Internet issues that never existed before. Just weird things like you're going in to find a crucial email of communication with someone else and it mysteriously disappears, and something like that I would never delete. It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't add up. I mean, these guys need to just do the damn right thing. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Hey, could you remind people about the pub crawl, how they can get involved again from a local standpoint? We're a national podcast, but this is coming in the St. Louis area.
Sure. So our pub crawl this year is the second annual. It'll take place the last weekend in February, the 24th, 25th, 26th. At the very least, we're asking bars and restaurants to participate at least on his birthday, if not the entire weekend. We will be sending out pub crawl starter kits to all these business owners. That'll include Freedom 13 QR code coasters, so it makes it easy for people just to hit it with their phone and donate that way. The bars and restaurants will also independently be able to run their own specials. Buy Jared a drink was a big one for us last year, where you buy 2 Bud Lights, one for Jared, one for yourself. You're paying for 2, you get 1. And that the other half goes into the donation pot. They're running all kinds of. They can get as creative as they want, to be honest with you, as long as it's all in good faith. That's fine with me. We are asking for sponsors. This is a great idea that came up last year that worked really well. Business owners can go out and sponsor any bar that's on the list, and they can set the limit to what they want to match to whatever they're comfortable with. It could be $100, could be $500, could be $1,000, whatever. And if that bar raises that much, then they match up to that amount that they committed to. And that's just a way to fatten the pot even more. We're hoping that we can double our numbers this year and get out in even more states than we were in last year. So there's still about 44 days left before this happens. And sign up is super easy. They just do it all online this year. It takes less than 5 minutes to sign up. And we'll get the pub crawl starter kits out to them probably the first to second week of February, right before the event actually happens.
Yeah, you just mentioned that it's in multiple states. I just want to make sure that people are aware of that it's not just in St. Louis area or Missouri. There's a map that I'm showing on the screen.
That was last year's map there, yeah.
Yeah, the states
how's that? Look how impressive that is, Eric.
What the hell?
That's awesome.
Wow, that gave me chills looking at that, Mark. My gosh.
The national pub crawl.
Hey, Mark, I just wanted to say something. This is the producer, Scott. When all this went down and I saw the community kind of wrap their arms around you, at least I know that we did. One of the coolest things I saw was when in the community of Winsville, where we put all the flags on the main parkway there. And I actually have a picture of this with my mother.
Yeah, I love it, Scotty.
And
That's
you can
good
see
stuff.
the flags behind them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Me and my wife, Marla, were going out to do it. My mother has Huntington's disease, so she's kind of, locked in a wheelchair. And she literally was, there's no way in hell you're going to do that without me.
Boom.
And she sat out there and we went up and down the street with hundreds of flags and probably 100 people posting these all up, and they stayed up there for I don't even remember how long.
They're still there. Some of them are still up there.
When was that again, Scott, that you did that?
It was very shortly after the incident. I would say within the week, the bank donated all the flags, and it was just a really cool sight to see. And I was honored to be a part of it, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
every time
that.
I turn onto Wentzville Parkway, I still see your son.
Yeah.
He's definitely been adopted by the community of Wentzville, Missouri. That's for sure.
I keep it decorated with artificial flowers and a crucifix next to it. Thought about throwing some Christmas lights on it, but I didn't want to overkill it. So
Do it.
I was about to say, I'm going to go put lasers in a smoke machine up.
Yeah, there's no overkill on that, Mark. There's no overkill.
It's
I
good
spoke to
be-
the mayor. He said you had 90 days is usually the amount of time you're allowed to leave that up. I said, is somebody complaining? He said, no. I said, well, then
Hell
leave it the
no.
hell up. And so-
You know what, Mark, I'm going to petition this. I think they should make a permanent structure up there, right there. Just make it out of stone. I don't see how that in any way, shape, or
Why
form.
not? Why not?
Especially
if donations pay for it.
Yeah, we should get a picture of it, Scotty, somehow, and put it on the show tomorrow.
You're talking about the billboard?
Yeah, the billboard that's up
I
there.
can go by there
I'm
today.
serious. Home of. That would be a great permanent fixture up there. Anyway, I've just put it out there in the universe that it will happen now.
Well, they did approve the bridge, the new bridge at David Heckle Parkway there to be renamed after him.
Nice.
Oh, excellent. I take that
We're-
every day. That makes me extremely happy.
Yeah, me too. That's good.
We raised the money
awesome.
for the signs for that, but we're running into an issue with MoDOT right now that we're trying to work through because they want to put the signs up on top of the bridge going, across with 800 people a day. And I'm like, no. It's got to go down on the highway in front of the bridge so people know the 300,000
Exactly.
whatever they go through there can see that,
Yeah, I've dealt with my
You're Irish.
Vic has burns in low places. He'll make it happen for you.
Hey,
Exactly.
now. Let's not talk about MoDOT. Then.
Hey, Mark, anything? Mark, anything?
Sorry, Tabitha, I didn't mean
Hey,
to
I
offend
didn't
you.
know.
They got to keep our roads clean. I want those people to be
I didn't know
happy
if you
with
were
us.
dating somebody at MoDOT now.
Just
Hey.
worried about the roadways.
Hey, Mark, anything you want to leave us or our viewers around the country with this morning before you go?
Yeah, just the pub crawl is free to sign up, and you can just go to thefreedom13.org, click on the events tab, and you'll see the pub crawl information there. Sign up is super easy. You can scan the QR code there on the screen. And it's obviously we're looking for massive amounts of support all over the country. We do ask that anybody who participates to include photos of the outings that they have, like some of the samples you see there.
Yeah.
Videos singing happy birthday are always nice. We do have 4 pub crawl t-shirts for sale on our merchandise page, including a partnership we just did with Grunt Style. I know the guys love Grunt Style shirts, so we've got hoodies, long sleeves, t-shirts, women's t-shirts. I mean, you name it. It's we're out there just trying to keep that brand going and grow this thing as big as we can.
Yeah.
Your interview gives me chills, Mark. We appreciate it. Thanks again, my friend. Always good to catch up with you. Sorry we had to meet under these circumstances, but we'll do what we can. That's for sure.
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Thanks,
You
Mark.
got it. Mark Schmitz, always good to talk to, especially when it comes to that situation. And Eric, the first question you asked him, like, how do you feel? How do you deal with this stuff? And it's like,
Oh my! I can't
like-
even imagine.
my God, you don't know what to do. There's no playbook.
No, it's not. And it's you remember kind of the thing about military politics and war and all that stuff is you always kind of remember where you are for the big events. 9/11, you kind of remember where you were. When we went into Iraq for this time, you remember where you were. I'm telling you, when we got out of Afghanistan that day, and we heard about the 13 losing their life, I remember where I was. Like, oh, this is the most incompetent thing I've ever seen an administration do.
Disgusting.
It
You
was-
knew
it
it.
was
You knew it
insane.
stunk to high heaven
Yeah.
the minute it happened.
How's the United States military let themselves be in a situation where they get service members killed protecting a perimeter of an
Well,
airport as they're
yeah.
leaving and people are falling off of our military aircraft?
They shouldn't have had those, and it wasn't just the 13. There were others in that area as well. They should not have had them in that area. They should have never been in that close body contact with so many people in a country like this, where
you're preaching to the choir.
they're at
Yeah,
threat.
you're preaching to the
It's
choir.
just it's absolutely unbelievable. But Eric, our military, the folks on the ground, they're all heroes.
Yeah.
It's the higher ups, the people at the very top
Oh,
level,
yeah.
sitting in the Pentagon, making all the decisions that worked directly
Yeah.
for Joe Biden. Those are the people who made the decisions that got us into this mess. They knew
They wanted something
this was
so
going
bad.
to happen.
Here's the problem. I can see how you walk in, Scotty Gherkin, with a folder full of 75 things of what I'm going to do. I'm going to disarm the XL pipeline. That doesn't kill anybody. I'm going to put all these green initiatives in. That doesn't kill anybody immediately. I want everybody out of Afghanistan. Boom, that kills people. When you broadcast that you are exiting a war like they did,
They didn't exit, they ran.
They
They
ran.
weren't exiting.
and I want it
They
so
ran.
bad.
Sprinted.
I want it so bad that I'm not going to explore the options of how to get out of here responsibly. We're just going.
And they were warned. Have you seen all the videos from back then? They were warned. As a matter of fact, back then, I don't know if you call him a president or the prime minister of Afghanistan, before the Taliban took over, he told Joe Biden, there's videos of this
I
conversation.
know where you're going.
Something is going to happen. We are no longer going to be able to maintain our government. We can't maintain our perimeter. The Taliban and other terrorists are taking
They're
over.
coming.
They're coming. We have no choice. Get your people out now. This was months before the withdrawal day, months before, and the Biden administration did nothing. They did nothing to prepare.
It's hard for me not to think there were things that were intentionally done, and it wasn't just incompetence, Eric. It's hard for me not to believe that some of those things do exist. Maybe not at every level, but at some level.
We're still funding
somehow,
them.
some way, and still funding.
We are still funding the Taliban.
And the
We are
Taliban
still
is
funding
back.
them.
They're in total control, if you haven't noticed, by the way.
We-
100% total control. And if you didn't think that they were harboring terrorism, think again.
We just gave them $83 million.
Oh,
I
But
think
we
in
can't put
August or
$2 million
September.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
forgot
yeah.
the other. And by the way, we left a couple toys for them to play with as well.
Mhm.
How many tanks? I can't even remember the amount of tanks, the amount of weaponry for free. There it is. Go have fun.
Just like
you
we
now
did,
have an army.
just like we did ISIS.
We're going to go build up Ukraine's army now. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
2 days in a row, these interviews with fathers who lost their sons serving this country. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially when it's not for sure 100% if things were done on purpose, if it's not for sure if we had the actual brain power to get things done the right way.
Right.
When any average Joe off the street could go, yeah, Taliban should not be taking care of the perimeter. Not after 20 years of fighting.
No.
But that's the new Taliban.
Oh my gosh.
The new Taliban.
The
Remember
new,
that?
more loving
Remember that?
Taliban.
They said that was the new Taliban. It's
Yeah.
different now.
Glenn
It's
says, don't
not
forget to pay your
different.
taxes. Afghanistan is depending on it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't forget to pay your taxes. Ukraine is depending upon
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
100%.
But we can't get $2 million to go put some veterans in a field. Unbelievable.
And
It really is unbelievable.
It is. And we're still sending money, like I said, to the Taliban. The Taliban officially recognized, think about that, a terror organization officially recognized as the running a country. They have a seat now at all of these different global meetings. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, it was 2 days in a row. Those interviews, we'll continue to bring you those interviews. If there's another story out there, let us know. Let us know what's going on, and we'll do our best to try to do what we can to make sure that we bring in the best interviews that we can. When you hear stories like this, when you see what's going on with the world, Eric, I don't mean to throw you too much under the bus here, but do you feel as if the world is coming to an
Yes.
end?
Dude, if I see
Before
one more
I could
TikTok
even-
about revelations, I'm going to kill myself.
Oh my God.
If I see one more TikTok about the end of the world, Scotty,
Well, you
When
know,
you
you
see
watched
the rivers in California, you kind of go, well, something's going on.
I know I literally have to go
Yes.
online every single day to see if the Euphrates
Eric.
River is filling back up.
Eric, you know, once you watch one of those videos, that algorithm is going to hit you with
Well, I don't care.
everything else that
Fine.
they have about the end of the world.
Okay, fine, whatever. But I'm just saying, I do see, yes. Do I see what you, I don't know what the hell is going on, but we are in the one that's killing me. And this, we can save this one for tomorrow.
Well, there's a
it
reason
seems
we're
like
bringing
CERN
this
has
up.
put us into a different dimension. Have you ever seen that one yet?
You mean with the atmosphere river that's falling down in California right now?
No, not that one. I'm talking about when CERN apparently has opened a portal that has put the planet Earth into a whole different dimension.
All right.
And then from that little giggle from Tabitha, that says it all. She's like, you know, that's right.
Well, weather manipulation has been going on a very
well,
long time.
Tabitha brought up the new Rosenberg report.
Okay.
Have you seen this?
No,
Well,
don't scare me on a Thursday.
we're talking about over 10,000 Americans surveyed, Eric, almost 11,000.
I feel like it's Family Feud is about to come.
Christians, non-Christians, atheists, Muslim, Hindus, Catholics, Baptists, whatever, all surveyed.
Okay.
40% of Americans say, yes, we are now living and experiencing the end of times.
Oh my God.
And that includes 63% of evangelicals as well. 63%, 40% overall said, yes, this is the end time. And we
Okay.
believe it is.
So evangelicals, first of all, we got to X some of this group out.
Don't be down
I'm
in
not.
evangelicals.
I'm not, Tabitha. First of all, evangelicals
Like
have been looking forward to the end of time since I've been alive. Okay, every single day, it's like you're in the end of times. You better get your soul straight. So that let's you can move them off the list. The crazy one over here is the atheists and agnostics who are saying it.
Yeah, too.
Those are the ones where you're like,
oh,
yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the more
and it points to things that are going on in this country, things that are going on across the world, the inability of people to get along, the inability for nations to get along.
Yeah.
And on top of it all, because things have gotten so crazy. And
let's explore this for a second.
The branches go off the tree and unnatural.
Let's explore this for just a second. So if you say end of times, here's the way I think of end of times. Meteor coming out of space. Boom. We're like the dinosaurs. We're gone. Number two.
Wait a minute. There were dinosaurs?
Yeah, there were dinosaurs.
Don't
even look over at Tabitha when we talk about dinosaurs. Please.
Let's not even.
Please don't even look at Tabitha. Number two. Geothermal nuclear war. Boom. You piss Putin off enough. He does his one tactical launch, and then the entire world starts throwing missiles all over the place. That's the second way that you could end this planet. Number three, a pandemic of biblical proportions. That would be the third way that I could see doing it. You are living in an era where you have all three of those things kind of circling around your head.
You do.
It's
like a bunch of murder hornets.
The Bible tells you how it's going to end. Have you ever read Armageddon?
Ladies and gentlemen, I
present
to you Tabitha Hassel.
He doesn't want to deal with Revelation.
Ladies and gentlemen,
enough of it.
Don't forget to tip your bartenders and waitresses.
You also
please welcome Tabitha Hassel
to the Middle East.
Go ahead, Tab. I'm ready.
And what's happening with Israel? What's happening with border towns?
And then, yes, I forgot. That's 4. Then throw in the Revelation stuff where you have biblical scholars who break it down for you and tell you what the 4 horsemen are all about.
Well, as Sarah says, the third temple, this is one of the biggest go-to biblical right now. It's being built. It's literally being built right now.
Where?
In Israel.
I did not know that. I'm sorry, and I probably should follow this stuff more. So anytime I get this kind of information, I ask you to elaborate.
Well, Jeff says the world population in 1970 was around 3 billion. Now it's over 8 billion. He doesn't feel as if the planet can sustain human population.
You guys
the
are
planet
nuts.
will survive.
It will. You
not
can.
So sure about humans.
Elon Musk was right. You could put 40 million people on this planet. We have enough area in the United. What you guys are talking about is urban areas. Move out of urban areas, and there's way more enough land and resources to.
There's plenty of land
there
for
is.
all of the people of the world.
We could go take over Australia right now, and we have more land than we need.
There's more. There's food. There's water. It's just that some of these governments don't want to do what they need to do for their people. There's plenty of everything to go around. Yeah. It's all ridiculous. But you know what? Did any of you guys ever read the book? I read it. My grandma gave it to me when I was like a little kid. The Hal Linden book called Armageddon.
No.
You were given a book called Armageddon as a kid?
This explains a lot about Tabitha Hassel. This shaped you.
Armageddon.
This shaped your future.
I had
and she
where
also
the
got
wild things are.
No, she got a nice pair of army boots to go along with it.
Hey, now.
Here's an MRE. I hope you like it, kid.
And you guys should be glad because if it weren't for me, you guys
we
have
tried.
no clue what's going on in the world.
Vic and I try to have conversations in reality. Now we go to silly season for you, and that's some good stuff.
I started telling people, and I'm not going to branch off into this, that the government was going to ban gas appliances 2 years ago.
No, you didn't.
Nobody listens to me. I can show you the video of it.
I cannot wait to see you send me the video today.
Nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me. And here we are. Eric, maybe you should pay more attention to me.
Yes, he should.
Maybe
so
you,
should I.
instead of coming into the show and the first line out of his mouth is, nobody here has any right talking about Ukraine.
I didn't say right. It's just you have.
Nobody here knows anything.
I'll tell you
Who needs enemies when we have you?
Scotty, what are you going to do about this over here?
So Armageddon, tell us about your grandma. She didn't give you candy or cookies.
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
But with a good
Chapter 1, the nuclear wipeout.
it was my grandma Mary, and the reason why she gave it to me, she was a very strong Christian, and she said, you know what, and this was back when I was a kid, back in the Stone Ages, and she said, we are in the end of times. We're in the end of times, and you have to live a good life.
So we've been in
so
the Stone Ages for
saved.
a long time. For a long time.
Think about the plague back in the 1400s. They were living in the end of times back then as well.
Well, we've got our
Come
plague
on,
now.
man. Come on.
The pandemic.
Every generation thinks they're in the end of time.
So you read this whole book at what, like 7 years old?
I have read the book. I've had read the Revelations. I've read the Armageddon book many times. In fact, they made a movie about this book. As a matter of fact, the book Armageddon by Hal Linden is one of the top sellers ever in the history
I'm
of
sure
books.
it is, but my God,
The book Armageddon. Everyone should read it.
I watch movies like The Breakfast Club, make me feel happy.
John says Red Dawn, not so far away, guys, especially when people feel as if the end of times is here.
Right?
Let's go to Florida and just have a nice end of life. I'm serious. Jeez, this
Nice
is getting
end
nuts.
of
This is
life.
getting nuts.
Do you
man.
want to know what the signs are?
Eric, I am part of that 40% overall. And, you know, being a Catholic Christian, I'll put myself as an evangelical. I'm part of that 63%. I do believe, Eric, we are in the end of times because there are too many signs and
So
too
you
many
think
crazy
before
things
you
going
die?
on.
Do you think
Don't
before
you
you
feel
die
as
you're
if-
going to see the end of times?
I don't know, but I feel it's right there.
Like what is right there? 100 years, 200 years, 400 years, 4 days? What is it?
Well, I would say under 100 years, but on TikTok, I saw a time traveler who said he was living 100 years from
Oh
now.
God.
A time traveler.
Not those guys. Not one of them got the World Cup right, by the way. I'm a time traveler. I'm here to tell you who wins the World Cup in 2022. No, you don't know anything.
Todd says no, like our kids will see it, though.
Eric, do you want to hear the 6 signs of
Yes.
the end of times?
Yes, I'm ready. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Tabitha Hassel.
You can interpret them as you will.
Can I have some background music for this? Go ahead.
We have
That puts him in a bad.
spirit. Don't make fun of the Bible, Eric.
I'm not
No.
making what I'm making.
No, he wanted
Don't make
some
fun of the
music.
Bible.
I just
He
wanted some music, some dinner music.
He wanted some music,
Here we go.
which I totally get.
Okay, number 1.
I didn't know you were bringing up the Bible verses anyway. Go ahead. Sorry.
Spiritual deception.
Okay, explain that.
Are we there yet? No,
Yes.
it's up to your own interpretation.
Yes.
International conflict. Been
Did
there
they
for
even have a
while.
word for international
Natural-
conflict back in the day?
Natural disasters.
Wait a minute. I found end of times royalty free music we can play.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
Before you give us 4, hold on a second. We really want to amp up this, Tabitha. So first was what? Spiritual deception. 2 was what?
Okay, well, hold on.
Well,
Let's
let's not blast through these.
Let's
Spiritual
me
deception
backtrack.
is what?
Well, there are 6. Spiritual deception is number 1.
Okay. It sounds ominous, but I'm not
Jesus
sure.
answered, "Watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming, I am the Christ,
I love
and
the
will
music.
deceive
I got you.
many."
I got you.
This voice. I love this.
Do you understand that one, Eric?
Yes. Do not look at someone who says I am
Very good, Eric.
I'm Jesus. Or what-
International conflict. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and the kingdom against kingdom. BRICS and NATO.
This is awesome.
Keep going.
Natural disasters. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains.
I can't even concentrate on what she's saying right now.
Birth pains.
The production.
Fierce persecution.
Okay, go ahead.
Then you will be handed over to the persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me, meaning God.
This is-
Wide,
Wow,
This is going-
that's one. This
is going viral. Share the show.
widespread.
CancelTheShow.com.
I'm not even sure what this word is. Widespread apostasy at that time, many will turn away from faith and will
Yeah.
betray and hate each other. And many
Ooh.
false prophets will appear and deceive many people, because the increase of wickedness, the love of most, will grow cold, Obama.
A little editorializing there. Go ahead.
Worldwide evangelism. That's the phase we're in right now. But he who stands firm to the end will be saved.
Okay.
And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations. And then the end will come.
Sorry, I had to restart.
Could you imagine could you imagine Tabitha reading this as a story before you go to sleep?
I can't believe I found that music. I typed in end of times and it comes up.
No,
Copyright
that's-
free.
No, with Tabitha's voice, I didn't know what. Yeah,
Mommy,
like-
can you please not tell us a bedtime story?
So let's produce
Tabitha Hassel on Storybook.
let's
I'm gonna-
produce a video with her talking. We'll have that music in
know.
the background and like the imagery. It's
Yeah.
it'd be great.
I don't
I'll
know.
do the audiobook for Armageddon.
That's
Man, Tabitha.
oh my God. Kevin says, of course, apostasy is the abandonment of religion. I think you said that pretty
Yes.
well. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Todd says, you guys have fun with all that. I'm going in the rapture. That is what's happening right now. Couple different people saying that. And Joe says, this is perfect. You,
Yeah.
Tabitha, reading all the seriousness
Yeah.
with that music in the back with a bunch of laughy faces.
Yeah.
The music, the end times and Bible
Yeah.
are spot on. It is interesting. Sarah says, Vic, not sure if you knew about this. I did know about this, and this is going to blow Eric's mind as well. What they're doing in Israel with this third temple as well, they've also bred all red heifers for sacrifices at the temple now. Snails that provide blue dye needed to color the priest's garments at the temple
Wow.
have been found after many years of absence all of a sudden, and they are training priests now for the temple too. No doubt, end of times. I'm telling you, study.
Don't you think that the
Israel.
people that create this third temple know that they're feeding into the
They're preparing because they know it's happening.
I
They're
don't know.
fulfilling the prophecy. But think about this in a serious note. Do this. This is your little assignment. Go out, try to find bees, try
It's
to find
true.
some birds.
go to find bees?
Where are the frogs at? When is the last time you saw
I
a
see them all the
frog?
time in my front yard.
I saw a
We're
frog.
gonna come to your
I saw a
house.
frog 2-3 weeks
I
ago.
run over them all the time
Frogs
in my
are
front
very
yard.
rare these days. When as kids we used to have buckets of frogs.
Why
you
is
can't find bees. You can't find
Buckets of frogs.
What the hell
We
did you just say?
literally
You had buckets of
collected
frogs?
bu-
What did you do
frogs
with them?
in a bucket? I don't.
You
Nothing.
kissed them to try
We
to find
just-
your prince,
I
and
made
no
up.
one ever just showed up.
not yet? Just a guy with a gag ball.
I got 100 frogs to kiss today, and then I can meet you later.
And like Todd said, why don't birds eat bread anymore? Because we don't have real food. That's why I threw out some bread to some birds like the day after Christmas. It's still in my yard. No birds touch it. I'm done with the birds. I'm not feeding them anymore.
Wow, that is crazy. I've never heard that story before.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-mm-mm.
Okay, that's a good story.
I am telling you, animals are not as prevalent as they once were.
Really?
It's another T-shirt for you too, by the way. Buckets of frogs.
Buckets of frogs.
Really? Because our sound guy last night just brought over a deer sausage that he killed in his backyard. So there's
There's
an
plenty of deer. There's no question about
Plenty of
that.
deer.
There's plenty
Plenty of deer, but not plenty of frogs.
Is there
Plenty
a
of deer.
frog beer? Like a beer that's named after frogs or something? Because you could do like a special at Winty's, do the bucket of frogs and Tabitha.
I know there's a senior frog.
They can order a there's a senior frogs.
I am concerned. I know we talked about the bees and that such situation.
bees.
Cross pollination.
Well, they're vaccinating bees now. That's a whole nother story for another day.
They're doing what?
Vaccinating bees.
Who is the government?
Yes.
And why is that?
To try to save the bees from some kind of bee virus that's going. It's hard to imagine that they're vaccinating bees, but they are.
Thankfully, a lot of people, at least 3-4, already jumping and saying they do see frogs fairly often.
And I'm glad to hear
So
that.
that makes-
Frogs in the back of my pool all the time.
Because I see, so when I was a kid, I saw you could even walk without stepping over a frog. I might see a couple frogs here and there. And the bees are coming out right now, by the way. So a lot of people who want to save the bees, they're putting out little saucers of sugar water for the bees. Got to
Oh,
do our part.
sugar water.
Forget your pretty green lawn, save the bees.
Forget about the bucket of frogs.
Bucket of frogs.
No
Ah.
bucket of frogs.
We got a bag of wine and a bucket of frogs.
Well,
frogs.
we need to find them because we might be eating them
It's
soon.
like it's like a lottery ticket for women. They just start kissing them and trying to look for their prince. That's funny stuff, Tabitha.
That is
It is
good.
funny. That is good stuff.
Well, you know what? We'll take a quick break. I want to go get a coffee. Laura says honeybees. Somebody texted me Oral B with a picture. Oh my God.
I do, but I just to finish off the whole segment. If you lived in a community where you didn't have a TV, TikTok, or cancel this, or you just lived off the grid, I guarantee you would not think that the world was coming to an end. If you didn't know what we were talking about, you'd be like, "What are you guys talking about?"
I bet you're wrong.
If you were living in Colorado somewhere and all
I
you
bet
did
you're
was
wrong.
ski all day long,
Well, there's a lot of people like that, Eric. Everybody 35
they
and
wouldn't
under.
they wouldn't think the world's coming to an end.
Look at all the death. That's a whole topic for another day. Look at all the death that's taking place now. Find a family that it's not touched.
That what death hasn't touched?
Death that people have not lost family members due to any circumstance. It's everywhere right now.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll tell
It
you. about-
always is, though.
Yeah,
People
Dad-
Not like
die.
it is right
you
now.
just said there's more
Not
than
like it is
8
right
billion
now.
more
people.
and there's
Yeah.
more access to see it. I don't know if I agree with that.
And more people are going to
People
St.
you
Louis
know.
City after hours.
You just lost your sister. I just lost my brother. I just ran into my ex-boyfriend at the store the other day. He just lost his dad, his wife, and his grandma. I mean, everybody I
whose
talk
boyfriend?
to, an ex-boyfriend of mine.
Oh,
Everyone I talk to is losing family members. And yes, it is a part of life, but something is going on in this world right now.
I agree. We'll talk about when we come back. Plus, a couple ESPN reporters are suing the network now because they were fired when they refused to get the vaccine. Well, guess what? Time to pay the piper. It's starting to come back now. People who were let go because of jobs and so forth are now winning lawsuits.
Get that money.
Woo! We'll get
Get
into that.
money.
We'll also continue this conversation. We'll see if we can find something else for Tabitha to read.
In the styling of the revelation.
I'm gonna go work on the audiobook right now.
This is your Wednesday warning.
Yes.
This is your
It's
Thursday
Thursday.
reminder. No, I was going down the list.
Oh, God.
And this is your Friday free
Yes.
for all call. I can't. Oh my
Tabitha, you're creepy as hell, but that's why people love you. That's why people love you.
I am not
Tabitha,
I'm not
creepy.
playing.
That's
That's a
great,
compliment.
That's another shirt.
That's
a
Tabitha,
compliment.
You're
I am
creepy
not
as hell, but
creepy.
people love you.
You do.
Because I tell the truth. The truth isn't creepy.
It is. Your truth is creepy as hell. I gotta go take aspirin and
You
take
need
a
to
nap.
listen a little bit more to me.
Oh my God, what a great bumper
go-
sticker. Tab is creepy as
I
hell.
gotta go get in the fetal
people
position
listen
for
to
a
her.
few minutes just to get my wits back about me.
Oh my
Jesus.
God. All right, we'll take a quick break. Canceltheshow.com. Share the show. Don't go anywhere. Back with more of that right after this. We have another hour. Scotty Gherkin, Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel. I'm Vic Faust. Go to canceltheshow.com. Check out all of our original content. Share the show. You're making this as popular as it is, and we appreciate it. Back with more. Cancel This.
What in the hell? Sorry.
Yo, got some cancel this show
Did I say
to
that
go.
on the air? I'm sorry.
He said, what the hell? That's fine. Apparently, a woman on Fox last night said, oh, no shit.
I'm going to try to find. I was watching it live and I looked up like
Eric, we can say that.
I know, but it's
I was-
off-putting. It's off-putting. I feel like I'm on the air, like the FCC is going to walk in the bill, but they're not.
No, they're not.
Well, technically, you're supposed to mark your little explicits
Oh, so they'll
box
do that.
that day.
Oh shoot! Did I just create more work for Scott?
No, because you had to do it ahead of time.
Uh-oh.
Tabitha,
Better watch
is
your
there
mouth.
anything we can do right on the show?
That's
today?
what she said. Well, Mark Schmidt just dropped a bomb or two.
He sure did.
Yeah, I don't know if that counts. Does it? I don't know what these days. I don't know what word is explicit
Yeah,
content.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
The I word
What
is.
exactly is explicit
The
content?
I word
Or is it even
Yeah.
any?
the
yeah,
C word? COVID.
things have changed so much when it comes to explicit content.
Your readings could be explicit content.
They might be.
I know.
Vincent Price.
There's this creepy little chick on this show called Cancel This, but she's dead on accurate about the end of times.
Don't make fun of the Bible.
I'm not, Tabitha.
No, to finish that
God.
up,
Not
Eric.
you.
Eric, I said no doubt. I believe it's end of times. Tabitha said she believes it.
I can
40, 50
definitely
years,
see it.
yes. Do
I
you
can
see
definitely see it.
it? Scott,
What's that?
do you see it? End of times here.
Oh,
Like I'm not paying attention. I'm doing.
I'm
Something
looking
else.
for the word shit on Tucker. I'm busy over here.
You mean you're producing?
That is amazing.
Oh my God.
What is
It was quite hilarious.
What do you think Laura means when she says tap that app?
I don't know.
It sounded
Tap that
funny.
app.
Tap that app.
I don't know.
And as Lizzie says, and cancel this is back.
Yeah. And back to COVID.
And back to COVID, not only
Yeah.
being funny, but literally. Scott, should we move on?
Yeah, move on.
All
Can't,
right.
I'm not seeing it.
It was,
Appar-
I saw part of it.
What happened, Tabitha?
Well, it was. They were talking about chickens because of the ridiculous price of eggs right now.
Chicken.
What?
You chicken.
Hey, have you bought any eggs lately, Eric?
Laura says, say it's sultry.
Have you bought any eggs lately?
No.
Very good.
I'm just kidding.
Tabitha, save that.
She's
I'm
our
just
she's our
teasing.
circus monkey.
I know. No, she did a good job. That was very well
I
produced.
told you what I was willing to do the other day for donations. No, but I was kidding. We won't get
I
into
must
that
have
right
missed
now.
that. Tabitha will be at Winty's on Sunday.
and PTs on Saturday.
Oh my god. Speaking of COVID, as in gosh, I got in break. I eat something during break and go figure. Do you know anybody personally that has sued, gotten their job back because they refused to get the vaccine? Have you heard of any of those stories? Let us know right now. Let's jump in that because I started to see some lawsuits being won by people
Yeah.
who lost jobs
Yeah.
because of their desire to not get vaccinated. Well, it's come back in the news again because Allison Williams, who was a very popular reporter for ESPN, they fired her in 2021
Sure
pretty
did.
quickly. Boom, gone out the door.
Yep.
And not just her, but there was also one other person who Tabitha would probably call a patriot because they
I
chose
don't know
not
if
to
they're
get the
not Paul
vaccine.
Revere. I'm not sure.
Oh my god!
Oh my
I
God.
can't believe you just said
You
that.
are never
was a-
mind.
that was a
Never
dig at
mind.
Eric.
Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
An executive producer. So they were fired. Well, here they come. They have now sued the Walt Disney Company in U.S. District Court in Connecticut for being fired over not taking the vaccine. They said forcing the plaintiffs to choose between continuation of their employment and a violation of their religious beliefs in order to retain their livelihoods imposes a substantial burden on plaintiffs' ability to conduct themselves in accordance with their sincerely held religious beliefs. That's what
Yes.
their attorney said.
Yes,
So
yes.
they were fired in October of 2021. We will keep you posted on this. I'm telling you right now, they're going to get a big settlement. It's going to happen out of court. It's just going to take some time.
How'd you-
ESPN did not respond. They're not saying anything yet, but ESPN did nothing to try to accommodate their religious beliefs.
Did they fire people at Fox 2 because they didn't take the vaccination?
No.
Okay, good for them. Good for them. We and I say
They
we,
didn't really ask anybody. They just said, literally, when the call came, they're like, "Are you good?" They asked us all, "Are you good? Like, are you good with all the health stuff's going on? Did you like go take care of yourself?" That's how they asked it.
Okay, that's very non-invasive, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, that's because they were trying to work around the situations regarding legality.
My rock band that I play in here in St. Louis, Missouri, had an opportunity to go and we were booked to go play Qatar overseas, and
Like
everybody,
Qatar,
yeah,
where the World
The
Cup was
country.
just
where the
held.
World Cup was exactly on New Year's Eve.
Play your guitar in Qatar.
And everybody here, so it was here were the questions. Do you have your passports up to date? Okay, yeah, okay, whatever. Second question. I'm assuming everybody's vaccinated. Wow, that's a big assumption. No, we're not all vaccinated. Okay, how long is it going to take you to go get vaccinated, guys? We're not. Well, there's some of us that are not. And then there was pressure inside the band telling the other guys who were not getting vaccinated, why don't you guys just go get vaccinated? This is a big paying gig. It's a good opportunity to go international and not play in St. Louis or Kansas City. We're going overseas. So it sucks to be you, but go get vaccinated. And the people that we were like, no, screw you. We're not doing it.
That would probably be get like mid 5-figure money for you, wouldn't it?
Oh, it was big time. As far, yeah, it was a big payday. But the moral of the story is, I can relate to what this girl's going through right here. It's like, you know, what is your threshold of where you're finally going to get vaccinated? If you have $1 million a year job and they say you will not have this tomorrow if you don't get vaccinated, would you go get the vaccination? If you're an NFL player and they say you will not play in the NFL anymore unless you go back, gets vaccinated, is that your threshold? Well, mine wasn't reached. Mine was not reached with the mine getting, you know, not to go overseas and play. I was like, I'm out.
Look at all the military members.
Yeah.
Who?
Well, the military members have to.
Not anymore.
Well,
Not
COVID.
anymore.
The Pentagon's dropped the COVID
That's
vaccine.
new.
It just happened.
A couple days
That's
ago.
new. It's
Yep.
because when you
This
see
week.
those T-shirts that say "property of the United States military," that's not a joke. You are the property of the United States military.
Think of all of the military members that we're already so short staffed in the military. Think of all the military's members who had to leave because they didn't want to get vaccinated.
Yep.
Or who
And
were
some
maybe
special forces guys. We need those guys, by the way. Pilots,
Yes.
we need those guys, by the way. We need those guys more than we need them not to get COVID and spread. I mean, seriously. Again, I keep going back to the word incompetence. Incompetence. Military, move fastly, be nimble. You tried to get everybody to do what you wanted to do. It did not work. Please understand, we need recruiting numbers up. And if you don't let people go in the military without getting vaccinated, your recruiting numbers are not going to get up. So be a smart military. Be a smart military. Get our fighting force back to where it needs to be and let the special forces guys come back.
what about the ones that were vaccinated?
Yeah, and great point, Tabitha. And what about the people, the hospital workers in any other location that lost their jobs?
Many.
And then now those restrictions get dropped, and the people that lost their jobs, are they hired back? Are they given back pay?
They have
Are
to.
they given compensation? The Supreme Court, by the way, has not prevented companies to this point in time from enforcing their own vaccine mandates, despite blocking federal efforts to mandate the vaccine.
What about the other side of that? If you work for a company, you're a member of the military, they told you you'd lose your job or you'd be discharged if you didn't vaccinate. So you did vaccinate. And now you're amongst one of the many, many, many people with myocarditis or ALS or stage 4 cancer. Someone on the comment
Unfortunately,
line
it's
mentioned
like
that
trying to
earlier.
prove you got cancer from using the wrong dish soap.
I'm not saying that they can prove it, but you know what? I do believe there will be a point in time when they cannot deny it.
Well, you can again, spreadsheets don't lie. You're right about that. People that live
Excess death
people that live
records
around
don't
Cold
lie.
Creek, the Cold Creek over here in St. Louis, Missouri, have more cancer than other people's in other areas. But you still can't attribute cancer to living around the Cold Creek in North St. Louis. You see what I mean?
I do.
So that is always that culpable deniability we always talk about. You might have gotten it from Cold Creek, but you can't sue me for it.
No,
so.
but we the people know. We know what's going on.
And that's why the decision, an individual's decision is so damn important. You should not be able to make me get something that I've done my research and said I might be at risk of myocarditis. And a person in my position, I definitely don't need to get that vaccination. And the more that we learn about this 2 years later, if you got COVID, you have these things called T cells, and they kind of even though your immunity is down, these T cells still come out and protect you against that form of this disease.
But it also might be what's causing myocarditis. I read a
It
report.
might be.
I read a
You're
report about
right.
it yesterday.
You're
which
right.
I'm going to send to you guys. We talk about doctors who want to go in and investigate the truth, and they're looking at these cases of people who've been vaccinated and have had myocarditis. And you know what the big differences were? And really the only difference is there was a change in T cells between people who were vaccinated and ended up with myocarditis versus the people who were vaccinated and didn't get myocarditis. There was a change in the T cells. The other thing was the cytokine. There was a huge,
Mhm.
huge change
In a good
in
way or a bad way?
A very bad way. A huge change in cytokines between the people who do get myocarditis and the vaccinated people who do not get myocarditis. It seems to all lay in the cytokines and the T cells.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna-
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll continue to follow that story here. The other thing we needed to jump into before we kind of let ourselves, I don't know, take your questions where you guys want to go with the last part of the show, which is something we're trying to do. I look up at the screen, I see a picture of Joe Biden eating an ice cream cone. Maybe that's coming onto our. I don't know.
It's coming up.
We'll
That's
see.
right. He's supposed to take questions today. I wonder if he takes any questions.
I'm working on it. I'm working on
I
it.
wonder.
So, with that being said, Eric, the story for you,
Go ahead.
because you speak a lot about the wussification of America, right?
You know that's right. John
About-
Wayne is dead.
How kids have it so easy, right?
I wouldn't go that far, but
Well, a Texas high school football coach has been put on administrative leave after he forced his team to do 400 push-ups as a punishment. Head coach John Harrell is now being investigated because he said he had them do 400 push-ups. It was an assignment. So one mother said that her son was forced to do 300 to 400 push-ups and was not allowed a water break. I mean, the Dallas
too
Morning,
far.
this happened in Texas, Dallas Morning News reporter. She said her son was hospitalized with a word that rhabdomyolysis, which can cause kidney damage.
Oh, yes.
8 kids were hospitalized
Yeah.
because they were asked to do 400 push-ups.
Yeah.
So they're considering whether firing the football coach.
Well, every time we do one of these segments, and Vic, you can jump in too. I always want to go. The first thing I always want to say is, back in my day, we used to ride uphill both ways in 200-degree weather for 2 days.
Water was a reward.
They didn't even. Water wasn't even.
Water wasn't a
invented yet.
necessity.
They didn't even.
It was
invent
a
water
reward
yet.
out of rusty pipes.
Yeah, we sweat so much we were dry.
The team captain said that the coach didn't do anything wrong.
I think he did.
He said
He
that
did.
the coach,
I think
the
he did.
coach was instilling discipline.
I think he
That's
did. Because
that's
a
not
football
discipline.
coach. So
he treated us and has treated us with nothing but respect, the captain said.
Yeah.
And he loves every single one of us like his own.
You have to know where the pain
And his mom
threshold-
said there was nothing wrong with this either. So you've got different parents
Well,
on different sides
if
of the
they
issue.
had that diagnosis, I believe, if I can recall correctly, what that means is it rhabdomyolysis or something like that. That is about your muscles. You're overusing your muscles, and when you burn your muscles to such a degree, all of that waste product from your muscles burning comes through your body, and it's like toxic. And that who does what was it 400 push-ups?
Yes.
What coach makes somebody do 400 push-ups? That's what they do at Navy SEAL training. That's the type of workout you're going to see there, not at high school.
Okay, I agree with you, Tab. For once, I believe. I believe that coaches they're so competitive and they want to get the conditioning they want to push it to that level. I know in my when I was playing football, we used to do things in 200 or 100-degree weather all the time. That was like, we're going to get killed. So I think that these coaches who are not experts on human physiology, they're experts on playing football, probably do need to take a step back.
A lot of high
sometime.
school coaches, I would say more high school coaches than not, Eric, are not experts.
No, they're
No,
not.
of
They're
course they're not.
teachers. Hey, you go play. Trust me. One of the worst football coaches I've ever dealt with is the Chaminade with my son after dealing with him for 3 years. The guy was just the worst. Why any parent would send their coach to play for that man is beyond me.
But
Just
you,
brutal.
as a parent, you don't know this, and
They don't know. But
player, you
most
don't
my
know it.
point is, just because somebody's a coach doesn't mean that they're qualified.
I do wonder if there should be standards for conditioning, because conditioning is usually where you get really hurt. It really is. You can tackle somebody, and yeah, you might sprain a leg, this, that, or the other. But conditioning improperly in heat and weather that is too hot, dehydration sets in, heat stroke can set in. Like Tabitha said, you can get these too much lactic acid in the muscles. That becomes a problem. I mean, there are all kinds of problems
I just looked it up.
inside of working out.
I mean, that could potentially be a fatal condition. Rhabdomyolysis is what it's called. It says it's often referred to as rhabdo. It's a serious medical condition that can be fatal or result in permanent disability. Rhabdo occurs when damaged muscle tissue releases its proteins and electrolytes into the blood, and it's toxic. It causes kidney failure, heart failure, permanent disability, and
But
death.
we don't know what kind of conditions this kid may have had before.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
why I
That's
don't work
even
out.
worse.
It doesn't matter.
That's why I don't work out.
Yeah. Come on, man. We
I
don't
have an
know.
excuse now.
We don't know all the other details about it, because I think back, I look at 200 push-ups is not a big deal on a football field. Now, I played through college at the University of Missouri. Now, that 300, 400, I'm going, oh, how much time were they given? Is there, what was the heat at the time? What part of practice was it at? There's just a lot of.
And I know that I was the kind of kid that if they said we're doing 400 push-ups today, and I was like, and if even it was dangerous, I would have pushed myself to try to do it.
So
So I want that flow chart roster. You want to
Baby.
be at the top of that flow chart,
Yes, you
man.
do.
You want to be number one on that list. We want first team out there. And if you're doing 200 push-ups and you're now third team because you couldn't do the push-ups, okay. Yeah, I think that we need to put standards together.
But things have changed. I don't know about you guys or where you went to school. When I was
8 kids had to go to the hospital. Sorry, Tara.
God, you're
Tara-
kidding me.
Oh, Tara on the line. I'm thinking I'm not Tara.
8 kids? Did you just say 8 kids who had to go to the hospital?
Or they
Because
went-
of 400
eight
push-ups?
kids, yeah, 8 kids went to the hospital. There's a bunch of things going on with
How
that
about
story.
that? How
When you
about that?
guys were young and in school, or I know when I was, I don't know where you guys went to school, our gym teacher was actually a doctor, not a medical doctor, but it was a doctor of physical education. And they had to have extensive training to be a coach.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I
Our
would,
gym teachers
Trust me,
wore
that's
calf
not true.
socks and polyester shorts.
They
and-
got jobs
shirts.
as janitors.
Well, I
and
know
then
things-
coach the football team.
I know things are different now, but I mean, I went to 2 different high schools because I moved from Chicago to St. Louis.
You had one of the current gym teachers. The gym teachers I see now, they're young and
No, I know. That's
they're
what I'm saying.
attractive men and women. They're wear their Lululemon and
I think things have changed, or maybe it was just the schools I went to. But when I was in school in Chicago and school here at Ladue, I don't remember that coach's name. You probably know him. He just retired not long ago, but he was like a doctor of education. But now we're having all these,
Not the norm.
and that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's not the norm, but it seems like what you guys are saying is right. These days, all the gym teachers, they're just regular people who they're like, okay, well, I'll sign up to be the coach. And then they're telling somebody and ordering
Not
them
for the
to
bigger
do
schools.
400 push-ups.
Maybe like little schools, but the bigger schools they're like Al Davis, just win, baby. They want to win. Francis Howell wants to win. Zumwalt wants to win. Hazelwood West wants to win. So if winning means I'm going to push my kids a little harder so I can be a little bit more in shape than the other guys, they're going to do it.
But you're going to say, though, that this coach and other coaches most likely don't have the authority. They don't have the education to know how
Yes.
far they can push the
That's right.
limits, the physical limits
Yes,
of children.
ma'am. That's right. So 400 push-ups is insane. I'm
I
sorry.
think so.
gosh, there's so many branches of stories that people are bringing up. Just go to the chat line if you want to get into everything. We don't have time to get into it all, but it is something that makes you wonder. I still think back, but it's high school. It's not college. College is different. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If my child had to go to the hospital after trying to do I'd probably be upset after 400 push-ups. So I don't know.
I would have told the coach you first.
No,
Yeah.
that's not how it works. Because your coach usually is like 300 pounds overweight with with a clipboard.
Not all of them. Just the one at Chaminade.
Those that can do, those that can't coach. Remember that.
No doubt about that. Do you have some video you want to play for us, Scott?
I do. So I found the chicken story, and I started at a certain point. So it's going to be about a 2-minute video or whatever, because this guy says something very interesting about the government setting the prices of eggs, which I didn't realize that was a thing. Like I figured the chicken farms or whatever they, you know what I mean? So,
allegedly U.S. inflation was decreasing a little bit. I think I saw that yesterday, right? I think that was the headline I saw. But who knows? Like I said, a 12-pack of mini Cokes is now 2.5 times the price it was 2 years ago.
All right. So yeah, here I got the video now.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
And the egg market is all controlled by supply and demand. The government sends out a price every week, and we follow it.
Which is why we're seeing those prices soar in the store.
What?
So we
Wait a minute, what?
I wanted to
Can
pause
you
that.
repeat that
What
again?
the hell?
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on.
That should have been the other way around. You would have thought election season's coming up, bring the prices down. That's crazy. If that's true, hopefully it's
No, here, listen to this. Here it comes again. Appreciate you
Grocery
finding
stores were wiped out.
And the egg market is all controlled by supply and demand.
Right.
The government set a price every week, and we follow it.
I mean, is
Well,
that
that made-
that
those-
statement
that-
alone?
didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's supply and demand. However, the government tells us what to charge. That's not supply and demand.
Unless the
That's
government
dictated.
is controlling supply and demand, or saying, well, we have so much supply needs from all of our producers or distributors or brokerage farms, so this is what it's going to have to
It's
be.
exactly that. It's price controls. They're controlling the price.
Well, why don't they control the price downward, Tabitha?
But this
Because
is
they would be
This
higher.
is the problem.
okay. This is the issue with eggs. And I mean, Glenn says, why are egg prices different at every store? And they are.
Yes, they are.
I've seen that. I'm going, wait a second.
Wait a minute, what?
So
Egg prices
have
can be
chickens.
differently priced at stores.
We
different
have
stores.
chickens. We haven't bought eggs in years.
Okay.
We have all farm fresh eggs, and I couldn't even
Do
eat
you have
the
chickens
store
at your
bought.
house?
Yeah, I wouldn't even eat a store bought egg anymore. There ain't no way.
Yeah.
The farm fresh eggs are so much better.
Okay.
So much more flavor.
Is that free range?
Yeah. Well, no, we have them in a pen because there's coyotes and then our dogs.
Is there even a difference though? For free range?
Not really. I mean, because
Yeah.
we feed them pretty much organic foods
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so we kind of
Yep.
know what they're eating.
Yep.
You know. All right. So then Tucker goes into talking to this chicken lady, and it's quite a hysterical video.
Which is why we're seeing those prices soar in the store.
So we saw this story and we thought, who can we consult about the price of eggs? And the first name that came to mind was Tierra Solomon, a chicken enthusiast, a longtime chicken expert working informally for this show,
Chicken
and someone whose
enthusiast.
life has been vindicated by the
So
current
pissed.
news. Tierra, thank you so much for coming on tonight. So you have been keeping chickens famously for years now. Now there is an egg shortage. You must feel like the smartest person in America.
You know, I will say my heart goes out to all the chickens that lost their lives to this
Yes.
horrendous bird flu that's going on. But for like local chicken owners and like small farms, this is great for us because now people are turning to us, wanting our eggs, and finally respecting chickens like they deserve.
Well, so that must feel really good.
Is she
'cause I know
serious?
you've been on
Oh,
the show
she's
a number of
dead
times.
serious.
We've always been grateful to have you, and we've gotten a big response every time. And most has been positive. Some of it has been mocking. I'm sure that you have been mocked by your family, friends, and neighbors for keeping so many chickens, for being a chicken enthusiast.
She looks
They're not making fun of
devastated.
you anymore, are they?
No, they're actually coming to me and wanting my eggs and finally needing me for something. And I'm like, oh, it's about time. You're welcome.
And
have
do
a
they look?
purpose now.
Yes. And do they look at the chickens a little differently?
You
Yeah,
know,
like they're
I feel
delicious.
like at this point, yes. Oh dear.
Tucker was
She
forced.
said, "Oh dear."
It's the roosters. Now listen.
The two themes I'm taking away from your life are self-sufficiency and love of animals. Is that fair to say?
And money.
You know, yeah, because finally, after the years of people making fun of my chickens and thinking that I'm weird that I have so many roosters and so many hens,
Yes.
I'm now like, oh, told you so. Chickens are finally having their glow up, and
Look at him
I'm
laugh.
so
my
grateful for
Lord.
it.
Now, but we should just say, in the interest of animal husbandry and accuracy, roosters don't lay eggs, correct?
No, so funny thing is my hens sleep in a different coop, and so right now we're in front of all my roosters, so a lot of people will probably be like, oh my gosh, roosters don't lay eggs. No shit. But this is easier, and if you remember last time, there's Bad Boy Halo from the very, very first time I was on. Oh my gosh, roosters don't lay eggs.
She's got an attitude.
No shit. But this is easier, and
One more
if you
time.
remember, sleep in a different coop, and so right now we're in front of all my roosters, so a lot of people will probably be like, oh my gosh, roosters don't lay eggs. No shit.
Oh my
But
God!
this is easier, and
Wow.
if you remember last time, there's Bad Boy Halo from the very, very first time I was on.
Bad Boy
He's,
Halo.
right there.
So she's been on the show before, and she got like, like
She's
Tucker
doing-
is a chicken expert on the show.
She did a gummy before she did that on the show. So, by the way, that was a big cock in the background.
Watch your mouth. Did you know, by the way, not to change the subject, that the FAA is getting rid of the word
I
cock?
can't believe we should.
The FAA is getting rid of the word cockpit in exchange for flight deck because they think it's a male racist word.
Is that
I
better?
told you about.
Nobody told me about that. I heard about it last night. Is that crazy? There is no more.
Wait a minute. What?
And because they want to get. Remember yesterday when we were. I'm not to change.
I got
the
to tell you a
subject.
funny story too. I think I've said it on
Just,
there
but I
before.
just since I remembered that we were talking yesterday why that what the NOTAMs was. When I became a pilot, it was notice to airmen.
Correct.
It's called, and then Kevin came in yesterday and goes, it's notice to, what was it? Did
You
he
know,
say
I'll say-
air missions? And I
Here's-
go, why did they change it to notice to air missions? Because they want to get rid of the word man. They want to get rid of the word man. So it's noticed that not
Yeah.
airmen.
Notice to
No-
air missions now.
No, now it's noticed to air missions. If you are not if you fly a jet, you do not do it out of a cockpit anymore. You do it out of a flight deck because I guess that's an obvious one, correct?
I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a cockpit, just
Right?
Matthew says, yeah, I think.
And
I got
listen to this
I got
last
a
one.
new crush on the chicken lady.
The last one is it's not called an unmanned aircraft. It's called a drone. Unmanned,
Interesting.
manned. They want to get rid of the word man. out
They've
of
been
everything.
changing language.
This is FAA.
forever.
This is FAA.
Changing language forever.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the cocks.
Yeah, on the word of cock. And my
We're gonna be
People
banned
at-
today.
are we? You think?
No.
I'm so tired. I'm not thinking straight. Anyway, people have asked me, did you ever have anything that you said on? Did you ever have that Ron Jeremy moment on television? Not on television necessarily.
What's a Ron Jeremy
Oh my
moment?
gosh.
Vic was naked. Never mind. I'm done. Vic and Mandy on set. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke. I'm joking. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
That's a Ron Jeremy moment. There's nothing good that could come out of being in a Ron Jeremy moment. Go ahead.
Yeah. Where is this show going?
Oh,
Okay, start.
well, shit.
Tonight on Vic and Mandy. That's wrong.
Tabitha's just looking at us like
I'm staying out of this.
I met Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy.
Oh, I got tears of eyes right now.
Go F yourself, San Diego.
And after we just showed a bunch of cocks on TV running around.
Exactly.
Oh my
This
God.
special guest.
Okay, let's
Elliot
get back
Davis.
on track.
What is a
Um,
Ron Jeremy moment?
Yeah, what's a Ron Jeremy moment?
Legit.
Oh, wait a
I
minute.
was the color commentator for Mizzou football when I finished playing.
Okay.
Yes.
So I did that for 2 years. People said, "Do you ever have any embarrassing moments?"
Yes.
I had two of them. One where I called because you're talking fast sometimes. I was trying to talk about the backfield and accidentally said the black field, and they were all
Ooh, that's a
African-American.
close one.
Oh,
And-
Jeez.
And then the funny one was I was talking about, I was like, well, it looks like there's 15 seconds on the play clock, otherwise known as the play clock. I was like, now back to Ron Jeremy.
now back to Ron Burgundy. Ron, back to you.
The Blackfield. That's a good one. That's funny as hell.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The Ron Jeremy moments.
Did you ever have any Ron Jeremy moments? I had to literally think about that for like 10 seconds.
I'm gonna go home and complain to HR about all the sexist talk.
John says testosterone has taken over the show.
Sometimes it happens.
Tabitha, do you know who Ron Jeremy is?
Of course I do. I saw him at
I've
in a
met him
parade in
before.
Key West.
Of
once.
course she saw him. Who
You saw him at a
who
parade.
didn't think that was
so
not
he,
gonna
if he was at a parade in Key West, clearly he wasn't dressed.
I met him before at the Rainbow in Los Angeles.
Of course.
We actually hung out with him. We're having drinks with him, and I was with a country artist out there.
He's going to prison.
Yeah, this was probably 10 years ago. He brings us out to his car. He goes, "Let me show you this." He pulls out a mold of his head with it looked like him, but
Yeah.
it was like, why are you showing us?
Oh,
this?
his face head.
Yeah, like it was a mold of like a mannequin head of him, but it was like a what do you call like a silicone mold? Like it was done, and it had the hair, and it was like, this is creepy as hell.
That makes all this. That is so
He
LA.
is creepy.
That is so
He is
LA.
creepy.
He is a creepy guy. I didn't get to talk to him, but I was in Florida, well, in Key West for Fantasy Fest. And he was like,
Wait a minute. What?
This
was
is like a
the-
free for all Friday.
That's
early.
okay. That's okay. We're just getting ready for tomorrow.
Key
That's
West
all right.
Fantasy Fest. Ron Jeremy and a parade.
And Tabitha Hassel.
my
Go.
mom was there. I mean, I was there with like a bunch of people.
So Tabitha Hassel and Ron Jeremy walk into a parade. It's like the beginning of a joke. Go ahead. Sorry. What happened?
No, but he was like what do they call it? Like the parade chairperson, or I don't know.
The
what
marshal.
yeah, the parade marshal.
He
Yeah.
was.
hmm
Wow. Someone said, which head did he show you?
That's why I asked you.
No, it was that.
What mold did
like
he
his
show?
face, his head, like a bust.
I
It was a
know.
bust
His
mold.
plaster caster.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Mhm.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
Why were you at Fantasy Fest?
Yeah. Why were you at Fantasy
If
Fest?
if you as an American have never been to Key West for Fantasy Fest, you really need to check it out.
I've never been to.
Well,
Key
what
West,
is
and I
it,
wanna-
Tabitha?
You
What
would
is it?
think you weren't even in the United States. I've heard they've tightened things up.
Well, what is
have,
it?
Have any of you guys been to Key West before?
Yes.
I have not.
I
Okay.
have.
Well, if you go to Key West, as you know, clothing is optional in many of the bars and
So that's where you
Yep.
had to be. You're like, I'm going to Fantasy Fest.
you can go to. Well, I love Key West, and I had a little vacation place in Marathon, so I used to go there all the time. And so we would go to Fantasy Fest sometimes. It's one of the biggest events
Yeah.
in the Keys.
Okay.
And people come from all over the country to go to
Mhm.
Fantasy Fest. But it is probably what it sounds like. You go to Key West,
Yeah,
and-
keep talking.
and in this parade, almost everyone's naked to some degree. It's a pretty wild thing to
What did you
see.
wear?
What you
I
Or
had-
what didn't you
I,
wear?
my mom was there, for gosh sakes, like I just said.
What did your
gosh
mom
sakes.
wear?
Fully dressed. We were all fully dressed.
So
Why?
you-
What was
why?
it that attracted you to Fantasy
Exactly.
Fest?
And you're going to be fully dressed.
You could have gone to Orlando and gone to
I've
Disney
been to
World.
Fantasy Fest
You could have gone to
several times.
Pensacola and had a margarita, but you decided Fantasy Fest is
It's,
where it was for
it's
you.
like Mardi Gras
Okay.
in a way. People throw out beads and
Uh-huh.
I'm sharing the screen of their website.
thanks, buddy.
on-
Okay.
yeah, it's a
There's
parade.
Tabitha right
It's-
there with her
Oh,
blonde hair.
here's a video. You guys want to see the video of it?
Absolutely.
I
Be careful,
think,
be
yeah,
careful.
Be careful.
It's naked. A
If
lot
it's
of
that
naked
bad?
people at Fantasy Fest. I am telling you, people are walking around fully naked around Key
Well,
West.
they wouldn't.
Should
put
I
it
show
on-
this video or not?
They wouldn't put it on a public website, would they?
You can try.
Oh, there's the beats. There's the people and the rock band. And,
I see Tabitha.
yeah, there's the chicken.
It's Ron Jeremy.
Drink me. Okay. A band. Another band.
This is Mardi Gras. South.
Just
Florida
like
South.
Mardi Gras.
Just live your life.
But this is in Key West, huh?
Do you think these people think the Earth is coming to an end?
If they do, they don't care.
Yeah. They're like, take us out now.
Yeah. Key West is a
looks
wild, it's a
interesting.
wild place.
It looks like it'd be a fun night if you were down there hammered having a
This
good
isn't
time.
even close to Mardi Gras, by the way. First of all, it's not 32 degrees outside and raining. But
That's very true.
now this looks like a lot of fun.
Oh,
This
It is a
my.
lot of fun.
This is like Mardi Gras for this is like Mardi Gras for 70-year-olds.
It is.
It is. It really is.
Well, Key West is an older demographic.
So we get
Very
to see a lot of
relaxed.
droopy boobs if we
and you do. You
tennis
do.
balls in a
Yeah.
sock. Here we go.
Oh no.
You definitely.
Oh, no.
These
You
are like
definitely
these are
do.
like PTA dads going to do.
And
Mardi
that was
Gras.
very much the clean version of
Okay.
Fantasy Fest.
So how crazy did you get at Fantasy
I don't
Fest?
get crazy.
Come
at
on, you
Fantasy
can kiss
Fest
and
at
tell on this.
all. It's a
No one
family
listens to this
vacation.
show. You can tell us. Go.
No, I mean seriously, it's a family vacation. There's no
Did you-
craziness.
And
on my
Dorleen
part.
says Key West has a lot of chickens.
they do. You
Go
can
figure.
go to restaurants and chickens are just walking around everywhere.
No shit.
The perfect event for PLR to play.
Well, it's PRL. That's the cleaning solutions.
So-
PLR.
10/20 to 10/29, October 20th through the 29th this year.
Oh,
2023.
okay.
We should go.
We should go.
Yeah.
We should go. She's got a place down there in Marathon.
Not anymore.
Oh,
but
no.
I
Wonder if
did.
we could broadcast
Well,
the show
Sure we
from
could.
there.
Absolutely
we need to
could.
be sponsored, and we'll go anywhere.
Let's find
We-
Kevin.
We've got things in the works as it is.
I think Kevin would be up to go to this.
I am telling you what, it is
He
so
parties?
much fun.
Call Kevin right now. He's probably working out right now.
Oh my goodness.
He's probably launching his four jets for the day. Is what he's doing over there. Call Kevin.
By the way, this is canceltheshow.com. We're doing our best.
Way to wrangle us back to the center. Vic.
We're doing our best.
This is all right. I love this.
It is fun.
Look, we are coming into Friday, people. All right, we are on final approach to Friday, so we're just warming up.
Final approach.
Yeah, and we don't have one of the landing gear is not down yet, so let's just try to land this thing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there we are. Canceltheshow.com. Go to our website. Check out our original content. We have all of our shows there. A lot of great material, original stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else. Donate if you want to on the front page, canceltheshow.com. Share the show, like and subscribe. That's how we're getting those numbers up. It's been a lot of fun. We continue to do that. Now, it is definitely a pre-Friday free-for-all. We got to figure out what we can bring in tomorrow. I mean, to make
This
this
all
show.
tab, but Scotty's very into this stuff too. Scotty knows how to bring in a paranormal Friday stuff as well.
Well, you know, Shannon did
Well-
offer to bring in some other paranormals, like that see ghosts and stuff like that she has connections with.
I have a lot of questions about ghosts still. I don't.
What are
wa-
your questions?
Why? Well, first of all,
He doesn't believe they're real, and I find that hard to believe with all the
And you
stuff he
live
went
with
through.
one.
Yeah,
I don't
Fine.
understand. Okay,
And hopefully the listeners are good with this.
How
we have
do
original content,
ghosts-
but we're jumping from topic to topic. But this is
how do
interesting.
ghosts get their Macy's clothing over to the other side? That's the main. I want someone to answer.
You
that
mean
damn
why
question.
why do you see them in the clothing that they wore a long time
Yeah,
ago?
that they bought at Sears.
Because everything has energy, including your clothing. Everything was once alive. Your clothing is made out of things that
what
were
about
once alive.
polyester? Polyester was not once
Everything-
alive.
It's really alive.
well, you never see a ghost in polyester.
What do you think
They just
polyester
don't
is
like
made
it.
out of?
A lot,
makes
I'm
them-
sure a
it
lot of
makes
the
them
70s
itchy.
ghosts you would have seen in polyester.
It makes them itchy.
I saw a guy.
It
had
is
a-
interesting. You never hear people.
for eternity.
You don't see naked ghosts.
Bingo. That Tabitha. That's just it. Bingo.
Now that would creep me out. I'm like, what the hell are you doing here?
Oh,
that takes it to a different level.
It's their energy imprint.
I asked a legitimate question.
We're giving you legitimate answers.
Clothing.
I
Eric,
kind of agree with
Eric,
Tabitha's
clothing.
answer.
Eric, clothing has energy. I'm not kidding you.
That's why you have static.
Vic,
Electricity.
don't look at me like that. You're a Catholic. I'm calling your pastor right now.
And that's part of it.
I'm calling the.
Science backs Catholicism. There is energy in clothing.
So what? So you're
Yes.
telling me that you what if
There's energy in this
Everything.
room.
Everything has energy.
Everything has
you,
energy.
if you die with the price tags on your clothing, will that go to the other side?
Maybe.
I don't know.
If you die with the price tags
It
on your
depends what
clothing,
kind
will
of
that go to
energy.
the other
It
side?
depends on what kind of energy you're popping.
Really? Take deep breath. If you can answer that question, I will believe in ghosts.
We just answered it for you.
No,
Yeah,
you
I
didn't.
think
There's no energy in a damn shirt.
Yes,
Yes,
there
there
is.
is.
What do you think static electricity is? Everything's alive.
Vic, you're playing with me now. You're
What?
like I'm like a fuzzball, and you're the kitten.
No.
Why do you think
Eric,
people sprout
come here,
seeds
touch my
before
shirt.
they
Eric,
eat
tell
them?
me.
100%. There is energy. in clothing.
It's not.
Yes.
You guys are nuts.
Yes.
You just made a TikTok that's going to get 1 billion views now.
Oh my
This
God.
nutty ass show out of St. Louis thinks there's energy in shirts. Goodbye.
Everything
Eric,
on this
Eric,
planet has
Eric,
energy.
Eric,
You're nuts.
I'm gonna.
You're
take
doing
you-
this on purpose.
No, I'm gonna.
Where are the
take-
cameras? I'm
Eric,
punked.
Eric.
I'm being punked.
Eric, you should be excited that there's energy in your boxers.
Not mine.
Don't you feel it?
I pray for your clothing to make it to the other. What about all the other clothing that's in your drawer? It doesn't get to go to heaven.
Let's try to find someone that can prove this fact that
wasn't-
there's energy in clothing.
It wasn't on you, Eric.
What does that mean?
Your energy, your bodily energy with that. I can't explain why.
I need to hear from
But
your
there's
priest
energy.
right now.
Priest, that's not what priests do.
Eric, do you know what? Do you know what polyester is made out of?
It's made out of plastic.
It's made out of naturally occurring chemicals, which are derived from plants and insects
Bingo.
alive.
John's-
Everything on this planet that you wear, that you eat, that you see, that you touch.
Oh my God!
All of
you
it
guys
has
are
energy.
nuts. You guys are crazy.
John
Seriously.
says everything is comprised of atoms, therefore
That's
energy.
correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
There's such a thing.
Now, but there is a reverse argument to this, because if it's clothing, you've killed the energy to make like the cotton or whatever to put into a shirt.
No, because can
So-
you ever kill something?
Yeah, but Sally brings up
You can't
copper
ever
fit
kill
clothing.
So is my
energy.
show to
Sally,
my shirt a
great.
ghost because I didn't kill it in the energy transfer to the
Carlene.
shirt?
Yes!
Jonathan Friday.
I don't know.
You guys are nuts. I need
We're
you guys.
not.
I need you guys right now
Eric-
to apologize to me right now for saying that clothing goes to heaven.
You can't.
No, nobody said clothing goes to heaven.
You just said clothing goes to heaven.
No, it
Because
went
it has
the
energy.
other side on somebody.
That's
Whatever
a book
that
right
is.
there. Let's write it. Clothing goes.
Yes,
to
I'm
heaven.
writing a book called Clothing Goes to Heaven.
It'll be right after. All
Brought to you by
Dogs Go to
Macy's
Heaven.
and Sears and J.C. Penney's. Buy your afterlife clothing here.
The softer side.
Okay.
Eric, why do you think people promote
TJ Maxx, the leader in afterlife clothing.
people promote eating live grains? They sprout grains because they want the energy
I
of
would
the live
hate it.
grains.
I would hate it if I went to the afterlife in clothing that I hated. You know what I'm saying?
Bendy says no energy transfers, but the second law of thermodynamics. I think.
What? Okay, if you're bringing out physics and charts and graphs and stuff, then I'll listen to you.
Well, here's the other thing. When
Well, I
it
think
comes to
that's what we're-
clothing having energy, Eric, there is an expert in the field. We're trying to find them if we can. But here's what chemists and scientists say: clothes are not in the lowest energy state available to them under the general conditions, temperature, and atmosphere in which they're found. Now, most clothes, for example,
Okay.
can burn, which releases energy, in the sense
Yes,
that most
yes.
objects that we use from day to day have some chemical energy.
Okay.
And believe it or not, this is it. Believe it or not, each year the fashion industry consumes more energy than flying and shipping combined.
Then I got a question for you, Vic. This is a legitimate question. And I don't care if cancel this is the home of do clothes go to heaven. I don't care. We will answer the damn question. If I am holding on to my 1976 Gibson Thunderbird bass, will I be able to take that to the other side with me?
I don't know.
It doesn't work.
What do
I
you
don't
mean you
think-
don't know?
It doesn't. It's not supposed to work that way, Eric. It's supposed
Depends
to
if
be an
Good
God
imprint.
question, right?
It depends if God wants to hear you play or not, my
I don't.
friend.
It's an imprint of your energy. It could be you standing there where you're at
Maybe you
right
can
now.
take it with you, Scotty. Maybe if you die inside of a Bentley, you can take the damn thing to the other side.
No, because you never see a ghost in a Bentley unless you're watching Ghostbusters.
Oh,
So-
I've heard you can.
Oh, now Tabitha took it to level.
I've not
I mean,
seen
like,
DEFCON 5.
like
I've
driving
not
a
seen
Bentley,
it.
or like
You've
someone's in the
seen
Bentley.
someone
and
drive. Wait
I
a minute.
have
She's
personally
right.
not, but you do. I have heard people
She's
say
right.
All right, we
there
gotta
are
we gotta
stories
save this
of
for
ghost
tomorrow.
vehicles.
No, we don't have to save it
Ghost
tomorrow because it will not
trains
be figured out
that
tomorrow.
come that they hear and see.
All right. Yes. Call Shannon right now.
Right
and say,
now?
And say, why in the hell do ghosts have clothing on?
That's not her specialty.
She can ask them.
She's not a what do you?
She can ask 'em.
seamstress
Eric's
for the
a-
other side.
Eric expects one size fits all.
Well,
Look,
she
I'm
does
like
do
Elliot Davis.
paranormal
If I
stuff
need an
also.
answer, I'm getting the damn
No, you're
answer.
not.
I'm
You're
Elliot-
not. You don't
I'm-
have a script in front of you
I'm
telling you
Elliot
what
Davis on
questions to
crack.
ask.
I'm Elliot Davis on crack. Tonight, coming up
Oh
on Channel
my
2.
Eric,
God.
Why ghosts have clothing? What?
There is an
I'm
answer.
sorry. Move forward because you're not going to answer this.
There is supposedly an answer to that, and that is if you're at a highly emotional state, allegedly,
You're taking this
your-
too seriously, by the
your
way.
this is good
imprint-
stuff.
You're taking this too serious because there's no ghosts.
Wait,
with
you're
clothing.
not listening to me.
Okay, and now I am.
Allegedly, if you're having in a highly emotional state,
Yes.
your energy leaves an imprint in the world, and that's why you see that guy walking through your house.
Walter
there's-
Camp, baby.
How come there are all kinds of people that die naked and you don't see them walking around naked?
How do you know
Because
they
you're
die
seeing
naked?
the impression of maybe there are naked ghosts. We haven't seen them all.
Tonight on Naked Ghosts. Naked, dead, and afraid. All right. I'm sorry. All right.
We have
I'm
fallen off.
done.
naked.
This all went down with the damn chickens.
I have asked the most legitimate question on planet Earth as it relates to the paranormal. I have asked a question that literally can't get answered.
I believe we answered it.
I think we.
It's
You
just
did
whether or
not
not you want to
answer it.
believe it or not.
You cannot answer every
Whoa.
question with because it has energy.
Do you think that eating live plants, sprouted
All right.
grains, gives your body extra energy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you're eating something that's alive and you're absorbing the energy, like the sun. You absorb the sun's energy.
I can't get past dead
Can we-
naked and afraid.
Oh my Lord.
Naked Ghost Fridays, someone says.
Look, I'm not even playing.
I-
I'm not even playing. I will not listen to any more ghost stories until a psychic can tell me why they're damn dressed over there.
I want to get the chicken lady on and just talk to her for like 20 minutes.
Should be great.
And
I'm sure she would come on.
we got to find her. That's who I want to talk to.
We could just have
tomorrow.
my
Oh
wife
my God,
Marla
they
on.
just found more classified documents.
I told you.
Shut
Start this damn
Yes.
show off.
It
in
was
Biden's-
they were at
What-
7-Eleven.
I need you guys.
No,
to,
seriously.
I'm telling you right now.
They're in Biden's garage at his Delaware home. Look.
What the hell? Give us
Shut
the
up,
update.
Hold
shut
on, we
up,
need a
shut
breaking
up.
news sign.
Dun dun dun. Go.
Additional documents marked classified found in Biden's Wilmington garage.
Is it the FBI that's
Wilmington,
looking at 'em?
Delaware garage.
Yep.
Is it the FBI?
Wilmington, Delaware residence, his garage. The special counsel to the president announced it just now.
What?
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Dude, this is
wait a minute. Who
huge.
announced it?
The president's special counsel. Or maybe this is the second batch and they're just telling us where they were.
All right, so
No, the second
In the garage of this.
They
guy.
found these documents.
no,
in
the second-
his
no, the second-
garage.
no, the
They
second
were found at that Penn.
Yeah, we don't know where the second batch is.
yes,
No, we
we
don't.
do.
We do.
the
Where?
second batch was found at the University of Pennsylvania
That's okay.
in the think tank library.
That was the first batch.
Oh, I thought that was second.
Now we
Sorry.
don't know where the second.
I
batch
believe
was
this.
found.
I believe that this is just breaking news and them revealing where they were found. I believe it's the second batch.
This is game over, people. Listen.
Found in his garage.
This
Now,
is
how,
game over.
his garage is not secure.
Gavin
next to his
Newsom.
Come on.
basketball and his
What-
lovely bicycle.
What's the date today? Is this the 12th?
Yes.
Mark it down. The 12th of January was the day that Gavin Newsom gets his team together to start running for president. This is it. You do not have three of these things that go like this. There's nothing Biden can say at this point.
Well,
other-
Biden's on live right
Yeah,
now.
I just saw that.
Is that on Fox
I think
News?
this might be the third batch, quite honestly.
It
I
is
think-
the.
I think
If,
it's a third batch.
if this is new, this is the third batch. Yesterday was the second batch.
I think this might be the
Yesterday
third
was
batch.
the second batch.
And Eric, I'm almost positive the second batch was found at the think tank. I don't-
Correct. You're right.
That's
Yes.
what I was just saying.
No,
the
you're right.
first batch
Yeah.
was found somewhere else.
And we don't know where the second
I don't
one
know.
was.
Here's what the article says. You guys,
If
can
we find
judge
Joe
this.
talking about it, we can pop him up if you find it. I mean,
Yeah.
we can do whatever the hell we
I
want.
think you can get here. You can definitely get it on Fox.com, FoxNews.com. Here's why this is so big. And this is, you guys don't understand how big this story is right now. This is the garage.
Oh, he
They
just walked,
searched his home last night.
he just walked off stage, so don't worry about it, Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Darn it.
They
Well,
found these documents last night. It says right here, the lawyers found the Obama-Biden administration records during a search completed Wednesday night of Biden's residences in both Wilmington and Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. All but one of the documents were found in a storage space in Biden's Wilmington garage, with one other record found in an adjacent room. Special counsel to President Richard Sauber said in a statement.
Dude, that's massive. What a story.
And it's being
Holy
leaked on
cow.
purpose. And
Yes, it is being leaked on
and by the
purpose.
way, do not get confused with national media headlines, or at least up to this point in time. Yes, Kevin, Trump has to be laughing. These are illegal documents. They were never declassified. They are classified documents. That is illegal. Every document that former President Trump had, all 150 or 60, were declassified documents. He had the authority, the autonomy to declassify them, and he did. As vice president, Joe Biden did not. I repeat, did not. Those are illegal documents that they're finding.
And he had a brand new wall built around his house. How many construction workers had access to that garage where these documents were?
A garage is not a secure
No, it's- of
location.
course
It's
it's
not a
not.
secure location. And then to think that, and then there was another document in an adjacent room. These were stored in his
What is
garage,
an
classified.
adjacent?
You know, a room
Adjacent?
near. Yeah, sorry.
Adjacent.
Tomatoes.
Adjacent.
Adjacent.
Adjutant sounds like a general.
That is
somewhere,
crazy, though.
It could be. It is crazy, but it does not state if it was the FBI that searched his home. But it answers a big question for us. They did search his home last night. They did search his home.
So did they do it with
found more
the
documents.
sirens on and the air cover over the house?
So this has to be a third batch because the
is.
second batch was discussed
Yes,
yesterday during
it's
the
a third
day.
batch.
Wow.
And they found this batch
Yes.
last night.
This is crazy. This is the biggest thing. Good job reporting today, everybody. This was fantastic. We would need to keep our eyes open about this. Is a scandal that is going to not take him down. My prediction, I guess let's get on the record right now. Here's my prediction. In the next month, Biden's going to say that he wants to hand the baton to someone younger. He's going to be out. He's going to have conversations with his team behind closed doors. There's no way in God's hell that he's going to be able to run again for president with 3 scandalous classified document breaches, just like they're trying to go after Trump. Trump now will be off the hook. This is an amazingly huge
Trump
story.
was already off the hook. He did not need what happened because Donald Trump did nothing illegal. These are illegal documents. And the grumpy Englishman says Numax.
Yeah.
It's a true story. He was the vice president. He was an assistant to the president who has the ability to declassify documents.
And maybe hopefully we'll get into more of this tomorrow to start the show. Glenn says Hunter Laptop might be instigating all of this.
What's that mean?
Meaning going through finding out where documents, looking at
Where
certain
they
correspondence.
Yeah.
This was said here. This was said there. Very, very, very interesting stuff going on at the White House. That's for sure.
And confusing because I could swear they talked about the second batch of documents being found yesterday during the day.
Right. After Peter Doocy was talking to the White House, when that was over, they found the second batch.
Leslie says it's the third batch.
Yes, they said Newsmax was reported as the second.
But I don't see how it could be the second if they found it last night. Because we talked about the second batch yesterday.
I don't know that that's that important. There's
going to be a 5th, 6th, and 7th.
There very well will.
Even if the second batch is found this is the one in the garage. There's not a less secure place on the planet than having documents like this in a garage.
I know.
Maybe in an underground bunker somewhere behind a big safe, you could go, look, I had this thing taking care of people. Then the American people might be able to go, all right, there was a big combination. It would have been hard to get in this safe. It's not hard to get into a damn
30
garage.
days, Eric. 30 days. Biden's stepping down. Are you serious?
I didn't say 30 days. What I said was you're going to start to see the wheels moving.
Because I thought you said in 30 days, Biden's going to hand over the power.
These are alien documents. I'm calling it. They're coming.
What I'm saying, yeah, that's true.
Did you see that squid video you sent?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're coming.
You know what started all this?
What?
Joe Biden calling Kamala president for the 7th time last
Yeah,
night.
maybe.
Why do you say that?
Because they're like, okay,
it's time.
It's time. We got to start
maybe
do it in a nice way. We'll start it.
And guess what? The dream team behind Biden, who's running the show, they look at Kamala. They go, no, this ain't the part. They're looking right now at Gavin. Gavin is. Wind it up, baby. Let's start putting the bets on the board. It's Gavin Newsom. He's running for president. It's going to start probably around summertime. Joe Biden's going to go, I've had a good run. I'm handing the baton over. This is going to become a nothing burger story. It will, because they'll squash it. But this will be the powers to be behind Biden to push him out and say, you're done. You're done.
Yep.
Go get go get a cocktail in the Bahamas.
Everyone's saying
Bring
it's
your son
the
with you.
second batch, by the way.
An ice cream cone, Eric. It's an ice
cream. Go get yourself
cone.
an ice cream cone in the Cayman Islands.
So as this develops, we talk about it tomorrow. I did get a text from Kevin from Strategic Air Services, said he would sponsor the Cancel This airing at Fantasy Fest if Tabitha dresses the part.
Ooh. I don't have any problem with that. Let's go.
I'm just saying.
October.
We have something to look forward to.
Hopefully we make it to October.
I was going to say, I hope we make it to October.
Jeez.
All right. Sounds good. We appreciate you joining us for canceltheshow.com. You see what we do. We do a lot. We appreciate you guys.
Do you understand that this is how around the, when you're on CNN or MSNBC or Fox News or wherever, this is how real journalism should sound. like us. There was nothing partial. There was nothing. We were looking at this from both sides. We were breaking this down from a Democratic side, from a Republican side. This is huge news. And that's why this show is so cool to me, is that we are reporting and then we're doing a little bit of bloviating. And I'm just excited that this story has come up. Good job, Tabitha.
Eric likes the show today.
Tabitha, that was fantastic. Breaking that.
I know. Can you tell? It's like I don't even know what to say.
That was
Eric
fantastic.
likes us today.
He came in slamming us for not being credible, and now he likes us.
No, it's not that. Don't talk about stuff you don't have any idea what you're talking about.
We are.
You don't have any. You have no idea what you're talking about with ghost clothing. So I don't know why
Share
you.
the show. CancelTheShow.com. Scott Gherkin, Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel. I'm Vic Faust. We're putting that show together for tomorrow. It's a free for all. Sometimes paranormal, sometimes you never know. We'll see what we got.
Tomorrow we'll examine what's the clothing you want to be buried in.
We'll put out a message for everybody today. And thanks for all the comments as well. We love you guys. Have a great
What about
rest of
sequins?
your
Can you be buried
Thursday.
in sequins? They don't have no energy.
I'm picking out you guys' Fantasy Fest outfits tonight.
Can you be buried in sequins, Scotty? No. What about spandex? That'd be a good way to go.
I'm getting cremated, so it don't matter. I'm gonna come back as flames.
Flames.
Vic just gave up. He just pushed the mic. I'm over it.
See ya. Bye, Tabitha. Have a good day.